Welcome to Fantasy Audiobook. I became the contracted beast of the Empress. Chapter 81. Since the dynasty, the family clan has been inseparable from the dynasty. Returning to the sect to solve the insecure factor of the dynasty, but cannot let Luo Qingshan give up. Today, Luo Qingshan is making a decision to abolish the clan and make Dagon a single dynasty. Breaking the fetters between the dynasty and the sect will naturally make the dynasty more unified. It can destroy the family clan, but it is completely destroying the foundation of the dynasty. If an action is taken at this time, I am afraid it will cause chaos in the world. At this time, the hundreds of civil and military officials facing down could no longer hold back and tried their best to discourage them. Your Majesty, never. The clan of the family and the dynasty are in the same boat. Now if the order is to be broken, it will completely hurt the enemy 1,000 and will harm yourself 800. Your Majesty, as the prince of a country, we know very well that you can want to let the world go to work, and we can understand this heart. But you can't be too hasty about breaking the family and clan. If you want to let the clan families succeed, this matter needs time to accumulate. Given time, I believe that with your Majesty's ruling power, these families will surely be melted slowly. At this moment, Luo Qingshan's thoughts caused all the officials to try their best to dissuade them. However, Luo Qingshan was determined. Although the shock was useful, it could not leave them with no thoughts. Moreover, the majesty of the Empress could not be trampled on by anyone. No one is qualified. However, she had to look for Wang Dao. Once this news came out, the government and the people were alarmed. I thought that after Luo Qingshan returned to the sect, this decisive female emperor would disappear for a while. But shortly afterwards, she even ordered to destroy the family clan. The gunpowder of Dagon did not dissipate, a bloody storm was about to be set off again. Of course, after those family clans learned about this, they wouldn't let it go. When they thought of Luo Qingshan's tough methods, they felt jealous, as if they were facing an enemy. This incident naturally spread to Wang Dao's ears. At night, Wang Dao came to the front of the palace hall with his chicken legs. It happened to meet Luo Qingshan, who was walking alone in the palace. I saw Luo Qingshan with disheveled hair, wearing a red dress, walking lightly among the flowers. No sound from walking. Scared that Wang Dao threw away the drumstick in his hand, he staggered and almost fell a dog to eat shit. Luo Qingshan was also taken aback. Seeing that it was Empress Wang Dao, she broke the defense directly, adding a little daughter's gesture. Wang Dao, you dead dog, why did you come to the main hall without sleeping at night? Since Luo Qingshan ascended the throne and became the female emperor, Wang Dao has also been moisturized and arrogant, as if he was the imperial hegemon. When Wang Dao heard it, he touched his chubby belly. I just came out for a walk when I was full, but you, dressed in a red dress and long hair, thought you were haunted. You. Luo Qingshan was so angry that she almost broke the defense again. Wang Dao was the first person to say that she was like a female ghost, but soon he waved his hand and did not intend to argue with Wang Dao. Talking to a dog, don't you ask for trouble. Since the sect returned to the sect, Luo Qingshan has been thinking about returning to the family sect, but the resistance is greater than she thought. Luo Qingshan felt bored, so he leaned against the stone bridge and looked up at the bright moonlight. Wang Dao, do you think I was too hasty about returning to the family sect? Luo Qingshan's words became extraordinarily gentle, and Wang Dao's humble smile froze in vain. He glanced at Luo Qingshan, then rarely squatted seriously and said, after the reincarnation, you should be very clear that you, as the empress in this life, will surely expand your dynasty to the entire court and the opposition. You are also a female emperor anyway. If your thoughts are the same as that of 100 officials, why can't other people be emperors, but let you, Luo Qingshan, become a great female emperor? When Luo Qingshan heard this, he looked down at Wang Dao, somewhat surprised. If you secretly accumulate energy and then use a thunder blow to suppress the family sect, I am afraid it will be better. This is the suggestion of the 100 officials. But as you said, as the king of a country, it is impossible for the world to understand my thoughts and actions. But one thing, I know very well, this time, I will change my decisive means of killing and cutting, and cleverly break the family sect. Head to head with the deep-rooted family sect, no one can get any benefit. Luo Qingshan knew this. When Wang Dao on the side heard that, although he was not interested in the affairs of the dynasty, he was a little curious to see Luo Qingshan's confidence. Could it be that you spread this news on purpose? Luo Qingshan shook her head. How can I deliberately utter those jokes with the power of my Empress, but this time the method needs to be changed. When the time comes, you will know. Luo Qingshan showed a meaningful smile. Even Wang Dao had to face Luo Qingshan. This woman is not ordinary. Sure enough, the more beautiful a woman is, the more she likes to lie. In the past few days, the Dagon dynasty is in full swing, and the faces of the civil and military officials are a little more sad. Since Luo Qingshan issued an order to destroy the aristocratic family clan, in addition to the great work, batches of dynastic family clan groups have been secretly preparing. Among them, a clan named Zhongbei clan has undoubtedly become the patron of all the clan families. A Zhongbei clan with a long inheritance history, almost surpassing the history of Dagon, is the most powerful and prestigious clan in the dynasty. In addition, the Zhongbei clan had several frictions with the Dagon royal family. It can be said that Luo Qingshan's order to destroy the family clan is to declare war with the Zhongbei clan. And Yuming, the patriarch of Zhongbei's family, gave the order to recall the family forces to guard against sudden attacks. There are many people in the Zhongbei clan, all of whom are distributed throughout the Dagon. Among them, there are confidants of the Zhongbei clan. After all the family members were gathered, the strength of the Zhongbei clan suddenly rose to a level that could rival that of the same dynasty. Master Yu Beastmaster, quite a bit. This alone is enough to see how terrifying the power of a top-notch clan is. This is why, after learning that Luo Qingshan wants to destroy the family clan, the civil and military officials will work together to stop it. However, this was only the first step of Zhongbei's family. Then they recruited troops and spent a lot of money to build the military city. The number of low-level beastmasters was visible to the naked eye and rapidly skyrocketed. In terms of the number of royal beastmasters, Zhongbei's is now completely comparable to Dagon, but the strength is still slightly inferior. After all, before ordering the abolition of the clan, Luo Qingshan sent soldiers to bring the sects back one by one. He wanted to win over several sects and serve them, but now it seems that there is no hope. However, there are still many confidants of the Dagon dynasty in Zhongbei's family, and these people are all prestigious and prominent in the dynasty. This time, Luo Qingshan wanted Zongmin to follow her, but it didn't end by killing a few people. If you make a wrong move, and you don't wait to break the family sect, it will probably cause dissatisfaction among the people of the world and make your throne unstable. After all, these aristocratic sects are not stupid, they also used some shady methods. This time, even the hundreds of civil and military officials in the court believed that Luo Qingshan would definitely end in failure in this aristocratic family. However, just as the important ministers determined that the sect of the family was broken, Luo Qingshan must be crippled. She even felt that Luo Qingshan was just stubborn and talked about it. A sudden news caused a sensation in the government and the opposition. The female emperor Luo Qingshan has led an elite force to directly kill the nobles of the family sect. Zhongbei Yushi. Countless important officials showed incredible expressions. Why is your majesty so impulsive? And without preparation, he went straight into Zhongbei's clan. That's Zhongbei's clan. Your majesty is reckless. In this way, the bow is completely opened without turning back the arrow, there is no return. After hearing the news, many ministers showed their worried expressions. It was too reckless to deal with a family sect that was deeply rooted in the Dagon dynasty. As for the Zhongbei clan, after learning that Luo Qingshan had sent troops and generals, he slew in. On their faces, there was no panic, on the contrary, there was a strong smile. They had already made sufficient preparations, with their current strength, enough to rival a dynasty. Especially the high-ranking beast masters, they have invited several people to sit here. There are many smiles on the faces of many big brothers in the Yu family. A yellow-haired girl who dared to ascend to the throne and proclaim herself the Empress, and now wants to break the family sect. As long as she dares to come today, I will let him go and never return. A big guy said angrily. This matter is definitely an opportunity for us Zhongbei family. If we win Luo Qingshan's first level, then we will not belong to our family power. Everyone in the Yu family laughed so brilliantly. In their opinion, Luo Qingshan's aggressive attack on the family was not to destroy the sect. Instead, come and give them a great gift. Especially knowing their preparations. At this time, Luo Qingshan led his troops to go north from Dagon to the Yu clan in Zhongbei. Unexpectedly, you dead dog also followed. Luo Qingshan mocked. Wang Dao was lying on a cron, holding half a lamb chop in his hand, gnawing attentively. Wang Dao twisted his body and opened one eye lazily, saying nothing. Why, I also eat you and use you on weekdays. At this time, if you want to conscript and attack the city, I naturally want to keep you safe. Looking at Wang Dao, Luo Qingshan's heart couldn't help but warm up. On weekdays, she quarreled with Wang Dao. Every time this guy looked like a scumbag, he didn't expect that he still cared about himself. This contract beast is not bad. At this time, Wang Dao ate all the lamb chops and smacked his lips. If you die, I won't be able to eat lamb chops in the future. Luo Qingshan looked at Wang Dao's proud face, her smile froze. After half an hour, Luo Qingshan and his party finally arrived in the territory of the Yu clan in Zhongbei. At this time, Luo Qingshan could already see the bright lights in the Zhongbei Yu's compound, and countless families were holding the lights and staring at them. The Zhongbei Yu clan, seeing that Luo Qingshan had arrived, they couldn't help showing a teasing look on their faces. For them, Luo Qingshan will have no return this time. The dignified female emperor will surely be defeated by our clan. Patriarch Yu took a step forward at this moment, and sneered at Luo Qingshan. Your Majesty went to visit the Cold Gate building so late. It is what the people want. I don't know what your Majesty's trip is. It makes the old man very uneasy. After all, our family temple is small, but you can't keep your living Buddha, follow the murderous beast master behind you. Luo Qingshan swept away coldly, don't pretend to be garlic with me. Today's party is to inform the Zhongbei Yu family that from today onwards, my grand female emperor will destroy all the family sects. I am under the command of the dynasty and serve me. As soon as this was said, everyone in the Yu family sneered. Some people even spoke coldly in front of the Empress. The majesty of the female emperor is really strong. Our family sect did not do anything to threaten the dynasty. For thousands of years, no emperor has ever made such a move. And you, Luo Qingshan, started to attack us as soon as you were in the position. First, courageous, just naive, all the members of the Yu family ridiculed. There are even family members who don't even have a contract beast, and they dare to step forward and ridicule a few words. In their opinion, if Luo Qingshan used the power of the female emperor to force them to surrender, there is no reason at all. This action is enough to make the people's hearts turbulent, and the Dagon dynasty will collapse from within without them. Any sect will desperately resist. If Luo Qingshan really intends to send troops to break the Yu clan in Zhongbei, then the Yu clan will never be afraid. With plenty of troops, Luo Qingshan attacked at this time, completely hitting the stone with pebbles. Everyone in the Yu family is confident. Facing the arrogant Zhongbei Yushi, Luo Qingshan looked coldly and said, Zhongbei Yu's family deserves to be a family that has been deeply cultivated in the dynasty for many years. Compared with the military strength, I am afraid that the current Yus is enough to rival me. When the Yu family master heard this, he grinned suddenly. Why, isn't it possible that the female emperor will be a great lady? Will I be jealous of my Zhongbei Yu clan? The owner's smile was not half concealed. He laughed arrogantly and presumptuously. But it is great confidence. Immediately, he waved his hand and swept his eyes to look at the soldiers behind Luo Qingshan. You and I are both great people. Today, your mediocre king will order us to be killed, let the dynasties fight each other, and finally the great people will be destroyed together. Is this the result you are looking forward to? Behind Luo Qingshan, there was a hint of surprise on the faces of countless generals. They all looked at their empress. Luo Qingshan. My Zhongbei Yu clan has more than 100,000 elites, and the dynasty has survived these turbulences, and there are less than 50,000 people left. The difference in numbers between the two sides can be imagined. At this moment, even the fool knew. If they head to head with Zhongbei Yu's family, they will definitely die. This is a battle with no chance of winning. This is the strength of Zhongbei Yushi. A dozen generals under Luo Qingshan's command looked at Luo Qingshan together, waiting for orders, and trying to figure out Luo Qingshan's thoughts. Even if you don't remove the decree, think twice before you act. Now sending troops to evacuate is a good strategy. However, Luo Qingshan's face didn't show any fear, and a smile turned upside down at the corner of her mouth. It deserves to be the Zhongbei Yu clan, who has been deeply involved in the dynasty for many years. The military strength alone crushed more than 50,000 people in my Dagon dynasty. The aristocratic family has such a strong military strength. Is it possible that it wants to commit the following crimes, overthrow the big guns, and rebuild a dynasty? There was something in Luo Qingshan's words, but the smile of the Yu's patriarch gradually solidified. Many elders in the family, after reacting, looked at Luo Qingshan in horror. They suddenly thought of something. Aristocratic families within the dynasty were not allowed to surpass the dynasty in military strength. If it exceeds, will be held accountable for the crime of treason. This unchanging decree gave Luo Qingshan a reason to send troops. At this moment, the Yu family couldn't laugh. The forces they rely on have completely ignored them. Also cut off some reinforcements. Right now, unless you fight to death. Oops. The elders of the Yu family were in a cold sweat at this time. He understood everything. Originally, Luo Qingshan was unreasonable, and even let the people object to it at one time, but now, it has been reversed. He personally sent the handle up. Luo Qingshan, acting arrogantly is intentional. So insidious. Patriarch Yu's face turned gloomy at the moment. Luo Qingshan showed the majesty of the Empress, under the willow eyebrows, a pair of beautiful eyes, like a fire among thorns. Today, I gave the order as the Dagon Empress. Zhongbei Yushi will be destroyed today. He has a heart for rebellion, and the crusade will take effect. If all the other sects dare to make a move, Luo Qingshan will destroy them together. The majestic voice sounded at this moment with endless domineering. At this point, the Yu clan's patriarch can only gritted his teeth and yelled. The members of the Yu clan listen to my orders. Today's great leaders want to break my clan heritage, my clan people will fight to the death. The huge force, this is the last support of the Yu family patriarch. It is also the biggest support. But Luo Qingshan showed a deep smile, watching Wang Dao's heart cold. With an order, among the hundreds of thousands of soldiers, especially Tier 2 and Tier 3 Beastmasters camp, someone suddenly showed a look of horror. Someone ran out with the contract beast and shouted loudly. I was born as a great man, and death as a great man. If you want me to be an enemy of the country, it's better to let me die. I thought it was the fault of the Empress, but I didn't expect the Yu clan to be rebellious. I came to the Yu family to eat a meal, so I can take my life, I would rather survive. I also surrender. The trend is over. The clan troops, which were still majestic at the last moment, surrendered in horror at this moment. The voice grew louder and louder, and even some beastmasters who didn't understand what was happening also shouted out. Luo Qingshan, it's terrible. Wang Dao understood Luo Qingshan's strategy. This is a serial plan. This woman deserves to be the Empress. It's all arranged. Patriarch Yu saw this scene, and after thinking about it carefully, his expression suddenly changed drastically. No wonder it is so easy to recruit soldiers and buy horses. These people are all sent by Luo Qingshan. Indeed so. After the sect catastrophe, Luo Qingshan took some of the family members of the dead sect elders into a big deal. According to the national decree, they are not guilty. She also personally comforted and gave some benefits. This time, in order to secretly push the Yu family to accept troops and buy horses, Luo Qingshan deliberately let these relatives go directly to the Yu family. This is why Zhongbei Yu's can expand its force to hundreds of thousands of troops in just a few days. And the reason for recruiting some high-level beast masters. After thinking about it carefully, the Yu clan's patriarch finally understood. All this is Luo Qingshan's plan. These people are all sent by the Dagon dynasty. In an instant, a wave of anger rose from the patriarch's heart, blood surged up, and went straight to his head. He glared at Luo Qingshan with anger, and roared. Okay, Luo Qingshan, your strategy is really good. All things are clear. First, the number of troops swelled to an unexpected level, and then they used the national law to force themselves to yield, even if they did not yield. She Luo Qingshan also has a whole card. That is, let the people of the sect take refuge in her Luo Qingshan's Beastmaster, and turn to the battle, so that the army's heart is distracted. Take advantage of the trend to completely defeat the family from within. Shrewd. All this is under the control of Luo Qingshan. Countless soldiers knelt and bowed under Luo Qingshan's command, raising their hands and surrendering. Seeing this, the corner of Luo Qingshan's mouth curled up, and he silently said, I use the prestige of the great goddess to warn everyone, and those who surrender will not kill. Subsequently, the troops formed by the Royal Beast Division divided into two wings, staring at each other. With a weakened army, coupled with Dagon possessing a powerful army of beast masters, the Yu family did not break down at all. The patriarch of the Yu clan still wanted to resist, but accompanied by a beautiful figure and a six-color god phoenix who was dazzling like a flame, the battle soon ended. The third-tier Luo Qingshan can be called a crush. The war broke out. Wang Dao was naturally involved, but he was responsible for picking up the leaks. Wandering to the back of the Yu family, with a keen sense of smell, he immediately found the place where the Yu family had hidden the natural treasures. Lin Ru's Firefox followed Wang Dao. Her eyes glistened when she saw countless treasures of Golden Pill Queen. The two are like bandits. Wherever you go, no grass will grow. Take it all. With a thunderous blow, Luo Qingshan ordered all the recalcitrants to be killed on the spot. In an instant, in the Yu family's territory, screams resounded for dozens of miles. Countless elders of the Yu family are separated. The Yu family is bloody. But this time, Luo Qingshan knew that there were still many people in the Yu family who could work for the leaders. Heartfelt as a minority after all. And she no longer needs to use killing to establish her prestige. Many members of the Yu clan knelt down and begged for mercy. Some of the elders of the Yu family could no longer bear the pressure of the death of the head of the family. They also knelt on the ground, begging not to hurt their family members anymore. Luo Qingshan's face full of frost, without a trace of expression, just nodded gently. At this point, Zhongbei Yu, the family of the common surname, completely returned to the Dagon dynasty. The first step to break the sect family, Luo Qingshan won the victory perfectly. The rest of the sects were even more surprised after hearing that Zhongbei Yu's clan had been destroyed. To Luo Qingshan's methods is as afraid as to ghosts and gods. They also knew that Luo Qingshan could defeat the nobles of the family, so what could they count for the ordinary people? At this moment, all major clans raised their flags and surrendered for fear that the clans would bring about annihilation. One family after another, descended one after another. After breaking the sect of the family, the leaders truly became one mind. The dynasty went up and down, and finally merged and merged. The internal worries have been eliminated, and now there are still external worries. After unifying the Dagon dynasty, Luo Qingshan's spearhead eventually pointed to the neighboring dynasties. She also breathed a sigh of relief completely. If she delays, those dynasties will come to join in the fun, which is not what she wants. Therefore, either do not move or not give them a chance to react. For the long time I have committed my borders, now it is time to defeat you one by one in order to expand my power. Dagon dynasty. The depths of the dynasty. Luo Qingshan's order was issued, and the hundreds of civil and military officials facing down showed joyful expressions. The news that Luo Qingshan ordered the crusade against neighboring countries spread throughout the ruling and opposition parties. After breaking the sect and returning to the family clan, the whole government and the people knew that in the Dagon dynasty, there was a female emperor who acted thunderously. Luo Qingshan. Strong strength, ruthless means. There is also an ordinary but terrifying contract beast. No one dared to look down on the female emperor, and the people of the great cadres have high hopes for Luo Qingshan. This time, Luo Qingshan intends to direct the spearhead towards the Dali dynasty. She also knew that the Dali dynasty was not idle. According to the people in the shadows, Song Ting is now married to the goddess of the Dark Temple, and the Dali dynasty has also successfully climbed to the Dark Temple, this intricately powerful force. Under the rule of the Dark Temple, the neighboring dynasties could more or less secretly assist the Dali dynasty. Several dynasties supported each other, which was the last thing Luo Qingshan wanted to see. After all, each dynasty has a heritage of hundreds of years, and the power between dynasties has long been entrenched. To break through the entire dynasty, not only a huge force is required, but also the ability to win. Therefore, in recent days, Luo Qingshan sent his cronies to check the bottom of the Dali dynasty, formulate some strategies, and practice wholeheartedly. As for Wang Dao, Chengri has a special person to serve in the dynasty, and his life is very happy. But after a long time of comfort, Wang Dao always wanted to go out for a stroll. Moreover, cultivation has fallen into a bottleneck, which cannot be solved by tenfold cultivation. After seeing the wonders of Lotus Mist, Wang Dao secretly made up his mind that one day he would definitely visit the scenery outside Dagon. As a result, when a ray of sunlight in the morning shone into Dagon, Wang Dao got up from the dragon chair. Looking at the pool of saliva on the dragon chair, Wang Dao showed a silly laugh. This morning was the day when Luo Qingshan went to court. I really didn't expect this empress to sit on the dragon chair and notice so much saliva. What kind of expression would be on her face? Although I really want to see Luo Qingshan's anxious and depraved appearance, but today, Ben Go wants to make a private visit, leave the dynasty, and go outside to get some air. Before leaving, he called Liu Kai Shenfang. At first, Liu Kai Shenfang refused, but after seeing Wang Dao take out the Purgatory God Stick, he reluctantly followed. The two beasts left the Dagon dynasty and headed west. This trip has no purpose. Wang Dao dangled all the way with Liu Kai Shenfang. Before he knew it, he had already arrived at the western border. Every time he goes to a new place, Wang Dao naturally wants to taste the local food. Although he was pampered in the dynasty, he ate all the delicacies of the mountains and the sea, but suddenly eating some local snacks was a different feeling, which also made Wang Dao reluctant to think about Shu. After eating game from all directions, the two beasts came to the border town, and Wang Dao went straight to the largest restaurant in the area. After ordering all the dishes on the menu, Wang Dao put down the menu with satisfaction. Soon, all kinds of dishes were served on one end. Seeing the dazzling array of dishes and the scent coming in crazily from the nose, Wang Dao and Shenfang ate and drank. After drinking and eating, Wang Dao touched his chubby belly and collapsed on the chair. At this time, several people at the next table were talking about it. Hey, have you heard that the prince of the Great Li dynasty has married the goddess of the Dark Temple? Of course I know, just a few days ago. It is said that the princes and concubines of many dynasties have passed away, not to mention how lively it is. But I heard that the goddess seemed to step into the door of the Song family, and her strength suddenly skyrocketed. According to rumors, this goddess is no ordinary person. Isn't it an ordinary person? Then she is still a wicked evildoer. Just listen to the rumors. No, the fat man with a greasy look at the next table lowered his voice and looked at several people mysteriously. This goddess seems to be absorbing the aura of living people to improve her cultivation. Sucking a living person. Really, this is absolutely true. My brother-in-law is in charge of the Dali dynasty. According to him, every night, they can see the depths of the dynasty, and there are screams. A yin wind struck, and several people trembled. Even Wang Dao, who was half drunk, was mostly sober after hearing this. If an animal master wants to improve his own cultivation level, he generally needs to obtain advanced techniques. As for ingesting the spiritual energy of living beings to increase his own cultivation level, it is theoretically impossible. It's just that this matter has something to do with the Temple of Darkness, so it might be. It's impossible for this goddess to marry Dali without any motives. Thinking of this, Wang Dao couldn't help but look at the people at the neighboring table. After taking a few bottles of good wine, Wang Dao gradually figured it out. Dogs give wine, the more you give, the more you get. Others didn't care about a dog inquiring about the news, and they all said it unsuspectingly. Although they are all rumors, Wang Dao's curiosity has long been overwhelming. He didn't hesitate anymore, dropped a gold coin to settle the bill, and then left the restaurant with Liu Kai Shenfang. At the same time, Great Li Dynasty. Following the marriage of the Dali dynasty with the goddess of the Dark Temple, the Dali dynasty became a first-class dynasty. The entire Dali dynasty was prosperous. When he came to the territory of the Dali dynasty, Wang Dao looked at the many guards above the city gate, with a proud look on each face. Walking the local chicken, it seems very difficult to sneak in through the front entrance. Let's go, let you climb the wall. Liu Kai Shenfang's face couldn't help but twitch. Immediately, the two sneaked into the inner courtyard of the Dali dynasty. After all, people who are unfamiliar in life and want to avoid the family again, the two beasts saw a gilt building. Without much thought, they slipped in from the backyard. This gilded building is completely different from the appearance of other buildings. On the plaque at the back door, there are still a few big characters written in dragons and phoenixes. Fang Yun Pavilion. What Wang Dao did not expect was that the two of them made a mistake and found the palace where the goddess lived. Although Song Ting, the prince of Dali, married the goddess, the two did not sleep together. The day they entered the bridal chamber, the goddess went directly to Fengyan Pavilion. Seeing that there was a huge stone lock at the back door, Shenfeng was about to leave when she saw it, but Wang Dao suddenly stepped forward, fiddled with it with the wire, and the door lock was unlocked. In Zongmin, Wang Dao used this method to hold all the treasures in his hands. The house is very large, and the architectural style from the outside makes Wang Dao feel that this must be the residence of a distinguished person from far away. At this moment, Wang Dao stopped suddenly and raised his head to look forward. A man in a black robe was sitting there cross-legged, and there was a black breath beside him, fluctuating beside him. What smell? It's so stinking. Lu Kai Shenfeng covered his mouth and nose, and let out a light retching. Fortunately, Wang Dao grabbed Shenfeng's wings, so they didn't expose them. Liu Kai Shenfeng was in pain and was about to blame Wang Dao, but seeing Wang Dao looking straight ahead, she also looked over curiously. As a sacred animal-level bloodline, Shenfeng could perceive that a powerful spiritual force was fluctuating in that black aura. Do you feel this breath, too? The two came forward tacitly. Suddenly, Wang Dao stopped walking. Shenfeng on the side didn't notice the strangeness, but fortunately, Wang Dao held him back. What the hell is this? Beside the person wearing the black robe, there was a naked man lying there. There was still a black box in his body. The box had been opened, and strange black air was faintly emitted from the box. They suddenly thought of a word mentioned by those people in the restaurant. Take aura. At this moment, Wang Dao became even more curious. He had never heard of the beast master absorbing the spiritual energy of living people to improve his cultivation. Do you think that goddess, as the guys in the restaurant said, absorbing the aura of dead corpses? Shenfeng turned to look at Wang Dao and asked. It doesn't look like a dead person. Wang Dao shook his head. He could see that although the man was lying there stiffly, there were even undulations on his chest. And breathing, by no means a dead person. What is the black box on his stomach and the black gas of unknown origin? Suddenly, there was a footstep outside the door, and the two of them hurriedly hid behind the curtains beside them, and shrank themselves. Squeak. Door is opened. An old man with white sideburns pushed the door and walked in. He looked at the goddess who was sitting cross-legged on the ground, and said respectfully, My lord goddess, the Dagon dynasty has led all the generals and is always ready to march into the great leaving dynasty. This matter is imminent, and I need the Lord Goddess to assist me in the great leaving dynasty. The goddess opened her eyes, and the black energy entwined around him disappeared. Immediately, the stench disappeared. Upon seeing this, Wang Dao analyzed, it seems that others are not aware of the black air. Shenfeng nodded, it stinks to me, we must figure out the black air and the secrets of this goddess. The goddess got up, took off her black robe, and a piece of long black hair was scattered on her shoulders. Isn't today the time for the trial realm to open? Isn't Song Ting going to pass? The old man nodded, bowing respectfully. The prince is waiting for you at the door. Please leave the palace quickly and go to the realm of trial with the prince. The goddess nodded with a cold face, got up and left, and the old man followed behind her. Snapped. After a while, seeing the sound of footsteps outside the door, the two beasts poked their heads out. The realm of trials, this kind of trial is quite common in several other dynasties. Wang Dao and Liu Kai Shenfeng were about to clarify the secrets of the goddess. After the two beasts looked at each other in a tacit understanding, they immediately slid into the backyard, following the smell of a few people, sneaking along all the way. After a while, the two beasts followed the goddess and others into the so-called trial realm. Like Yunlanzong's Lianwu Immortal Mountain, it is a place full of spiritual energy, but here, it is also sealed by a group of powerful people, and few people know it. Unless the prince of the neighboring dynasty gets permission, the rest cannot enter the realm of trial. However, the seal of this method couldn't stop Wang Dao and the others at all. They easily broke the barrier and entered the realm of trial. After entering, they saw that in addition to Song Ting and the goddess, there were also many powerful young beast masters with varying strengths. However, when Song Ting and the goddess entered the trial state, the men and women surrounded them, but they were not pleased. It's anger. It can be seen that these people have great malice towards Song Ting and the goddess. Seeing this situation, Lu Kai Shenfeng asked in confusion. Strange, logically speaking, as Song Ting's prince, who can enter the realm of trial, they should be the princes of all dynasties. Why are they right now? Song Ting has great malice. Wang Dao waved his hand. This matter has nothing to do with us. We came here to find out the secrets of the Song family and the goddess. This is not our place, remember to keep a low profile. The two beasts were hiding from the side to observe, and a group of men and women, at this moment, they all tacitly took action. After possessing the Spirit Beast illustrated book, Wang Dao could know the cultivation of the spirit beasts beside these men and women at a glance. Basically they are all spirit-level spirit beasts, but the beast masters are only in the late second-tier stage, and for Song Ting in the third-tier mid-stage, there is still a big gap. But they are better than people. Seeing everyone's intent to kill, Song Ting's face showed a sneer. Suddenly, a black air filled Song Ting's body, and the dark goddess took a half-step back. Wang Dao in the distance could see that the bluish-white aura on the bodies of the beast masters was immediately suppressed by the cover at the moment when this black aura suddenly appeared. That black qi, like a black hole, madly sucked everyone's spiritual qi. Under the operation of the spiritual energy, all the beast masters were easily swept by him. Upon seeing this, Wang Dao said with some disappointment, "If these people have such strength, they can't test Song Ting's strength at all." At this moment, the beast masters seemed to have no accident, but calmly swallowed a brown pill and took it into the mouth. In an instant, the spiritual energy on their bodies became more and more full, from the cultivation base of the second stage to the early stage of the third stage. Just taking one pill, the cultivation base can span an entire level. Cross-tier battle. Dust reduction pill. In a short period of time, the repair base skyrocketed. But there are very strong side effects. The light ones will be eaten back by the heart demon, the forelimbs will be paralyzed, and the heavy ones will explode and die. Who on earth did Song Ting provoke? They provoke them rather than explode to death and have to fight. What kind of grudges? Wang Dao, who was initially a little disappointed, grinned in the distance. Even though the cultivation base of a group of men and women skyrocketed, Song Ting did not look panicked. But Song Ting still underestimated the effect of the dust reduction pills. Although it was the middle stage of the third stage, Song Ting was quickly lost to the people of the early stage of the third stage. However, Song Ting did not call out her own spirit beast. Beside the men and women, there was already a spirit beast with a murderous expression on his face, but Song Ting was alone. The goddess who stopped by the side did not show a panic expression. On the contrary, his face was calm. You know, this is the era of the beast master. After the beast masters are supported by spirit beasts, their cultivation base and strength will be greatly increased. Don't call out contract beasts. Report it as a gift. At this moment, Song Ting's complexion was full, and after coughing up bleeding sputum, he shouted violently. I didn't want you to die, but you forced me. Evil shadow finger. With an order, I saw in front of Song Ting, a monkey covered in black aura suddenly appeared in front of everyone. A cold breath broke out in vain. Both Wang Dao and Liu Kai Shenfeng's eyes widened. Take a closer look. There is no trace of blood in this monkey. Strangeness. Wang Dao could feel that this monkey had already been drawn out of its three souls, its pupils were white, and its limbs were standing there stiff. What secret method is this? This has completely exceeded Wang Dao's cognition. Generally, as if seeing this kind of mysterious magic, the system will give yourself some hints more or less. But now, there is no sound in the divine consciousness, which shows the abuse of this secret method. This monkey has been dead for a long time tomorrow. At this moment, he is like a puppet, controlled by people. At this moment, Song Ting's whole body was wrapped in a strong black air. This black air is daunting. Perceiving the sudden surge of Song Ting's breath and the unidentified monkey, Wang Dao and Liu Kai Shenfeng's expressions were extremely surprised. Almost instantly, Song Ting easily crushed a group of young people with the monkeys, one after the other, one after the other. Wherever the Ling monkey went, he was entangled with black energy, swinging his arms that seemed to have no offensive power, but actually hidden killing intent. The boys and girls in the trial territory, and their spirit beasts, fell in a pool of blood one after another, and many young people were killed on the spot. Moment. End this fight. However, Song Ting also suffered a lot of internal injuries. So Song Ting put away the monkey, sat cross-legged on the ground, meditating to heal her injuries. The goddess on the side stretched out a hand to draw back the black energy that was lingering in Song Ting. Things gradually became clear. It seems that the dark goddess taught Song Ting the secret method, and then borrowed Song Ting's hand to erase the princes of several other dynasties in the realm of trial. The Dark Temple was originally distributed under several dynasties, and the forces were complex. But once the prince of the dynasty died, if there is no new emperor ascended to the throne in time, and the dragons without a leader, this dynasty is bound to be in chaos. At that time, the Dali dynasty will take advantage of the emptiness and many dynasties will surrender under his command. But what Wang Dao didn't understand was that the Dark Temple could use its own means to bring several dynasties back, but why use the Great Li dynasty? Just as Wang Dao was about to tell Liu Kai Shenfeng about this, he suddenly found that Liu Kai Shenfeng's eyes were dull, and a little golden light burst out from under the huge wings at this moment. What's wrong with you? Wang Dao was very confused. But Liu Kai Shenfeng's eyes were dull and unmoved. Just when Wang Dao didn't know what to do, suddenly, under the wings of the six-colored god Phoenix, a few runes suddenly appeared in the golden light. The runes boiled out, and suddenly the ethereal voice of the system sounded. Ding! Danja Dragon Fire is a magic weapon for the awakening of a beast-level spirit beast. A spirit beast with the blood of a beast will be purified after use. Wang Dao's eyes lit up, and what he didn't expect was that after entering the realm of trial, the six-colored divine phoenix could actually obtain this Junbao. Can purify the blood of the beast-level spirit beast, isn't this just suitable for the six-colored divine phoenix? Junbao, which can purify the blood of the beast level, had always been hidden under the wings of the six-colored divine phoenix. It's just that they came to the realm of trial today, and happened to activate Junbao in this place haunted by spiritual energy. That pill is red all over. The Danja Dragon Fire was floating in the air, and an inexplicable sacred and solemn breath burst out. Feel the pure aura in that pill. This made Wang Dao think that Luo Qingshan also felt this pure aura in her body after gaining the Dao Immortal Bone. But right now, Luo Qingshan can't compare the vast aura from Danja Dragon Fire. Just like, one is the spark of fire, and the other is the moonlight that reflects the entire galaxy. The two are simply not comparable. After systematic guidance, Wang Dao knew that this Danja Dragon Fire could purify the blood of the six-colored divine phoenix, making him truly a spirit beast of the divine beast level. Jin Dan was surrounded by a majestic aura, but an inexplicable force entangled the aura together, and did not drift around. In the end, that aura is visible to the naked eye, cleverly changing into characters. Before Wang Dao could study it carefully, the aura seemed to be guided by some kind of guidance. Wang Dao subconsciously wanted to stop, but the speed of that spiritual energy surge was too fast. After all, the eyebrow is the fate of the beasts. If Liu Kai Shenfeng's body can't bear this huge aura, it is very likely to explode and die. Then I thought about it. This Danja Dragon Fire was originally hidden under the wings of the six-colored divine phoenix, and it shouldn't hurt him. The aura from the Danja Dragon Fire is too strong. This also made Song Ting and others notice. The dark goddess turned her head back suddenly. At this time, the state of the six-colored phoenix is very weak. If this aura is enhancing the six-colored phoenix, then the six-colored phoenix should not be disturbed at all. Fortunately, Wang Dao reacted quickly. Before Song Ting and the goddess stepped forward to check, Wang Dao had already dangled the six-color goddess and fled quickly. During this trip, although Wang Dao guessed Song Ting's methods with the goddess, they still hadn't known the intentions of the dark goddess. The Danja Dragon Fire has been sucked into the body by the six-colored divine phoenix. At this moment, the majestic aura is constantly surging in divine phoenix's body. Instead, under the wings of the six-colored divine phoenix, crimson runes appeared. Spiritual energy is constantly surging in Shenfeng's body, and the runes under the wings are constantly changing. After placing the six-colored Shenfeng's eyes closed tightly, but Wang Dao could see that Shenfeng should have mastered a new technique and should be practicing at this moment. For Shenfeng, the appearance of Danja Dragon Fire is definitely a good thing for him. The chicken was lucky, but this day's big opportunity was hit by it. At the same time, in a courtyard outside of the trial, several elders in charge of the trial realm were enjoying the cool in the courtyard. They did not know that they had experienced a massacre in the trial realm just now. The realm of trial will last for 7 days. At the periphery of the trial realm, the important officials of various dynasties are waiting outside the barrier. Of course, just as Danja Dragon Fire suddenly appeared, countless golden lights rushed out of the barrier one after another. The important ministers on the periphery of the barrier, seeing the strange golden light radiate out, their eyes widened. At the same time, that extremely pure aura is beyond their cognition. The realm of trial was originally a coming-of-age ceremony held by several dynasties for the princes. There are countless Junbao in the trial territory, and the princes can only rely on their own means to bring the Junbao out of the enchantment. But this golden light and rich spiritual energy made the big men outside the barrier feel that such a treasure is a rare treasure in the world. Involuntarily speaking, several bigwigs waved their hands. I saw that the barrier of the trial realm was broken, and a door opened and appeared in front of them. Such a rare treasure can never be obtained by other dynasties. In this way, a group of big bosses rushed into the realm of trial, planning to take Junbao as their own. The three big men of the Dokshuan dynasty took the lead to enter the realm of trial, perceiving the aura around them, and they rushed straight in the direction of Wang Dao. Soon, when they saw a six-color divine phoenix covered in crimson, it was entangled by a strong spiritual energy. All the big guys were dumbfounded. They didn't even perceive what this spiritual energy was, and how sacred the spiritual beasts underneath it were. Entangled by such a strong spiritual energy, this spirit beast is definitely the ultimate treasure of the realm of trial. Leave aside this spirit beast of unknown origin. Just this extremely pure aura is a treasure I have never seen before. The big guys are excited. However, just when they wanted to step forward to fight, suddenly a little yellow dog walked slowly in front of them. Wang Dao's expression of a smile on his face was not a threat to the big guys. In his hand, Wang Dao held the Purgatory God Stick, all entangled with black energy. Seeing such a scene, this can make a few big brothers happy. Why does this black God Stick make me feel fear inexplicably? This kind of magic stick is also not fanpin. They didn't expect that the realm of this trial would allow them to discover many treasures. Any dynasty, as long as it obtains a weapon that is sufficient for its prestige, it is enough to dominate the world. The breathing of several big brothers became heavy. The treasure that this little dog holds in his hands is so familiar. Do the elders remember to destroy the sect Eye? At that time, the elder Yunlanzong was subdued by this magic stick. Remember, but as far as I know, the aura from this god stick seems to be the treasure of a fierce beast in ancient times. Is that spirit beast entwined with rich spiritual energy one of the four great beasts? A person said suddenly. The big men were taken aback for a moment. They looked at the six-color god phoenix who was entangled with golden aura, and then at the little dog holding a magic stick. The excitement on their faces gradually dissipated. This shouldn't be one of the four big beasts. Isn't it so sad? In ancient times, the sacred stick of the fierce beast could not be reduced to a small dog's weapon. Yeah, it's impossible. Although the major elders said so, they all looked at Wang Dao and the six-color divine phoenix behind him vigilantly. After they secretly summoned the spirit beasts stared at Wang Dao. Your grandma's, it's really noisy at that strong babble. Wang Dao took the magic stick and walked directly towards several elders, and the fierce killing intent of the purgatory magic stick in his hand made the spirit beasts beside the big gangsters look terrified, and they fell to the ground one after another. When several big men saw this, they suddenly remembered something, and the next moment they bowed in a tacit agreement. What the hell? Wang Dao was stunned. I was about to beat someone, why these people suddenly knelt in front of me? What happened today is not normal. Sir Zhengguo Spirit Beast, you are so maddening. As expected of Dagan's Zhengguo Spirit Beast, Dagan's Empress's favorite pet is how we offend, sorry. Several big men said politely, their entire faces were full of smiles. Seeing that Wang Dao didn't speak, they begged for mercy while showing flattery. Wang Dao was completely dumbfounded. What a thing. Is he recognized by them? But my dog brother is famous, so he doesn't need to rely on Luo Qingshan to support him. But more things are worse than less things. Wang Dao waved his hand. Since I recognize you as your dog brother, don't leave here soon. Don't force go to take action. The big men did not leave, but backed hundreds of meters, sitting cross-legged together. Heaven and Earth Vision, your friend, must be absorbing the spiritual energy of the heaven and earth at this moment. At this time, no one else can bother you. We will protect the law for you. With your strength, brother, go, although you don't need us little ones, but for some guys who don't have long eyes, we can do it. After breaking the sect, and then to Ping Ding's family of great leaders, Luo Qingshan's thunderous wrist made many dynasties feel jealous after hearing this. They now know that if they offend the Dagon dynasty, the family will definitely be baptized with blood. And Wang Dao is Luo Qingshan's spirit beast, and even the master they can't afford to provoke. It's also extremely terrifying. Wang Dao heard it and didn't stop it. This saves herself some unnecessary troubles. She allows these big brothers to protect the six-color god phoenix cross-legged from a few hundred meters away. Time passed by every minute and every second. After absorbing the Danja dragon fire, Lu Kai Shenfeng showed no signs of purification. However, with time, the aura around the six-colored divine phoenix became more and more intense, and the realm of trial was originally entangled by the aura. These powerful auras suddenly appeared, alarming many strange beasts to stop and watch. These big bosses are indeed very insightful. As long as any spirit beast enters, they will disperse them. 1 day, 2 days, 3 days. Finally, in the evening of the 3rd day, Liu Kai Shenfeng began to gather power. Sucking such a powerful spirit pill, these 3 days were not long. At this moment, the continuous aura suddenly gathered together. The aura was not fluctuating, but was regularly entwined under the wings of the six-colored god phoenix. The realm of trial is indeed an excellent place to practice. After absorbing such a majestic aura, Liu Kai Shenfeng did not suffer damage to the bones because his body could not bear it. According to normal circumstances, Liu Kai Shenfeng absorbed this majestic aura with the cultivation base of the middle stage of the 3rd stage, and it is very likely to break through to the later stage of the 3rd stage, and even increase to the 4th stage in one fell swoop. However, Wang Dao could feel that Liu Kai Shenfeng's cultivation base had not changed at all. The few big men on the side, seeing this situation, showed fear and surprise in their eyes. Although they couldn't guess what treasure Liu Kai Shenfeng was sucking up, just sucking up such a huge aura made them dumbfounded. Even Wang Dao muttered to himself, "This local chicken is really useless. You can absorb so much aura, so you still keep your cultivation base still there." The 4th day, the aura that lingered beside Liu Kai Shenfeng had already been absorbed by him. Suddenly, Liu Kai Shenfeng opened his eyes suddenly and saw Wang Dao closing his eyes to protect the law. Liu Kai Shenfeng lightly incited him, "Wing." A strong wind hit Wang Dao's face, a strange feeling struck in an instant, and a strange text was engraved in his consciousness. Bone Eruption Saint Yin. This technique can transform spiritual energy into poisonous gas that erodes all things. Spirit beasts that are eroded by poisonous gas will turn into a pool of blood within half an hour. No spirit beast can evade, but using this technique is very expensive. Use. A string of messages appeared in Wang Dao's spiritual consciousness. The ethereal voice of the system reverberated in his ears, and after Wang Taoming realized that, after opening his eyes, he could feel the mighty power that Saint Bone Corruption brought to him. Wang Dao did not expect that while protecting the six-colored god phoenix, he was also touched by the golden rune. There is no way to avoid any spirit beast. What a powerful technique. Wang Dao sighed. At this time, the six-color god phoenix mysteriously leaned forward and said, "Dead dog, if you dare to provoke me, I will use my new method to subdue you." However, Liu Kai Shenfeng didn't know it, and while putting away the aura, Wang Dao also appreciated the bone-eroded sage. There is a system blessing, and if you want to appreciate the magic techniques, it's a matter of minutes. Wang Dao now finally understands the reason why the six-colored divine phoenix has absorbed so much aura and the cultivation base has not improved in the end. This bone-evading holy yin consumes a lot of energy after using it, and being able to appreciate such a technique is indeed worthy of consuming so much spiritual energy. This is no wonder. Liu Kai Shenfeng was able to have such an opportunity this time, and he also experienced such a technique, which is considered a great gain, but if it had not been blessed by Wang Dao and was harmed by a traitor, I am afraid Liu Kai Shenfeng would have been bitten by the heart demon. Liu Kai Shenfeng is also very grateful to Wang Dao for protecting the law, and has a good impression of Wang Dao. This silly dog, not bad. After spending 4 days in the trial realm, Wang Dao could sense at this time that Luo Qingshan had already led the generals on the journey of crusade against the Great Li dynasty. They should also go back, and can't let Luo Qingshan fight alone. After dismissing those big guys, Wang Dao and Liu Kai Shenfeng left the realm of trial and took a shortcut to join Luo Qingshan. This time, although Liu Kai Shenfeng's cultivation base did not improve, he still mastered the rainbow magic power, spread his huge wings, and took Wang Dao with him. Within a long time, he arrived at Luo Qingshan's side. On the way, Wang Dao has been thinking about Song Ting and the goddess's magical powers in the realm of trial. The black monkey and the black chi, he still doesn't know what it is. Even the powerful system doesn't know about it. This secret method seems very dangerous. However, on the way to Fei Hong, the two beasts were in the air, and when they passed the Great Li dynasty, they found a cloud of black energy shooting into a room from the air. Liu Kai Shenfeng had sharp eyes, and he could tell at a glance that the place where the black energy reflected was the Golden House. Little dog, notice that there is no black air. Wang Dao frowned. Go and take a look. In order to find out the secret of the goddess, the two beasts once again entered the Dali dynasty and came under the Gilt Golden Building. Fang Yun Pavilion. Abnormal changes occur suddenly. After the two beasts sneaked in, they found that the naked man was faintly black. I saw that man's face became very hideous, and his body was beating violently, as if there was a monster inside, wanting to break out of his belly. When the two beasts saw this, they both showed confused expressions. What's wrong with this person? Liu Kai Shenfeng asked. Wang Dao shook his head, looked at the naked man in front of him, and said, I don't know, but he is in a very bad state now. If this continues, he is likely to die and become a dead body. Looking at the weird man in front of him, Liu Kai Shenfeng asked worriedly. What to do then? Wang Dao shook his head. Although this naked man has nothing to do with them. But since it happened, it wouldn't be good if it wasn't saved. But Wang Dao is only proficient in how to beat people, but he can't save people at all. Just as the two beasts were unable to do anything, the black energy suddenly wrapped the man in front of him. Almost instantly, the man's skin, in a form visible to the naked eye, was rapidly aging. A little bit of black energy began to penetrate into the body. Wang Dao's body shook, because the feeling of black air was exactly the smell of the monkey. The two have nothing to do with each other, but why do they have the same breath? Goo! An abnormal sound hits instantly, but at the same time, a hand suddenly stretched out from the naked man's belly, and red blood gushed out. I saw that the hand was very thin, with a pinch of fluff attached to the back of the hand. Ha! Ha! A strange cry immediately sounded, and surprisingly, a dark monkey came out of the man's belly. Wang Dao's pupils shrank. This monkey is the one that appeared in the realm of trial. At the same time when the monkey screamed, it happened to find Wang Dao and Liu Kai Shenfeng, but then, the monkey turned around, and quickly sucked the naked man. What a monster this is! Liu Kai Shenfeng was scared to hide behind Wang Dao, and Wang Dao also looked surprised. This scene is really weird. After the monkey ate the man to death, he turned around and stared at them strangely. Purgatory stick. Wang Dao quickly took out the Purgatory God stick, and the monkey felt threatened, and quickly jumped onto the beams of the room, staring at them eagerly. This monkey treats us as Chinese food, Wang Dao said with an ugly expression. A pool of saliva emerged from the monkey's mouth. Ha! Ha! The monkey rushed down suddenly, and the black air was mingled around, killing intently. Poker monkey, eat lousy with a stick. Wang Dao gritted his teeth and tried his best to swing out the magic stick. When the magic stick hit the monkey, it did not cause substantial damage, but smashed the monkey aside. Guttling. The monkey shook his head, showing a weird smile. Both Wang Dao and Liu Kai Shenfeng were surprised. This magic stick can't cause any harm to the monkey. It was also the first time that Wang Dao encountered this situation, but fortunately he responded quickly. It seems that this time, what they encountered was not an ordinary spirit beast. Although the purgatory stick can cause tremendous suppression and damage to the spirit beast, what if he is not a spirit beast? Wang Dao's inspiration flashed, thinking of the exercises he had experienced in the realm of trials. Since you are not a spirit beast, can you withstand the poisonous gas that can erode all things? It seems that what the bone-breaking Saint Yin suppressed is some evil things. The Liu Kai Shenfeng on the side heard it, and looked at Wang Dao in confusion. How do you know the bone-eater sage, you dead dog? I will do this exercise too. Liu Kai Shenfeng looked in disbelief. Impossible. This is the exercise I have realized after 4 days of cultivation. Naturally, Wang Dao would not tell Liu Kai Shenfeng's system. However, considering that this bone-evading saint secret has been used for the first time, if it is not mastered, it is very likely to be backlashed, which is very dangerous. Thinking of this, Wang Dao's heart was still heavy. I don't want to think about the magical powers of your dog, go to the side and let the dog cast the spell. Having said that, Wang Dao closed his eyes, and the bone eroding wholly hidden in his mind, this method of eroding all things. In fact, Wang Dao felt somewhat apprehensive about this kind of exercises that had never been used before and consumed huge amounts of money. After all, I am a salted fish, and suddenly understand such a dangerous technique. If it is backlashed, my life will not be guaranteed. And the six-colored god phoenix on the side sneered at Wang Dao when he saw Wang Dao's exercises. Snort, just a little dog like you, still want to learn the saintly hiding of the bones. It's hilarious. She hasn't fully comprehended the blood of her gods and beasts yet. However, Wang Dao suddenly opened his eyes, and there was a trace of sluggishness in Wang Dao's expression. Seeing this, Liu Kai Shenfeng couldn't help laughing. It completely forgets the current dilemma. Wang Dao, just you, a dog, is still posing in front of me. This bone-evading saint secret is not something you can learn if you want to learn it. Get out of the way. Let me come. At any rate, he is also the bloodline of the beast level. Although Wang Dao has countless methods, in the final analysis, he is only a mortal bloodline. Wang Dao couldn't appreciate such a magical skill based on his bloodline alone. But at this moment, Wang Dao suddenly turned his head, his eyes dull. Walking chicken, if I tell you, I have learned how to operate the saintly hiding of the bones. Liu Kai Shenfeng was taken aback. This is impossible. Seeing Liu Kai Shenfeng's face of disdain, Wang Dao closed his eyes again, running the aura to the meridians throughout his body. Yin Qi. Liu Kai Shenfeng was the first to feel this unique strength. The bone-eroding sage, who can erode all things and subdue the evil things of Yin Qi, will surely understand how to release Yin Qi. This is just the first step. The moment Liu Kai Shenfeng felt it, he shouted in disbelief. This is impossible. Wang Dao, you can't appreciate the saintly hidden bones. But at this moment, Wang Dao was controlling Yin Qi, grabbing at void, and suddenly pinching Yin Qi in his hand. A strong yin was pinched by Wang Dao in the palm of his hand. At this moment, Wang Dao grinned, billowing sullen air, and quickly rushed in front of the monkey. The moment the yin air touched the monkey screamed before he could scream, and his whole body was evaporated to water vapor, completely disappeared. The air seemed to freeze, and Liu Kai Shenfeng was stuck in place, looking at Wang Dao in disbelief. After a long time, Liu Kai Shenfeng said excitedly, Wang Dao, this bone-eroded Saint Yin has been successfully appreciated by you. It originally thought that Wang Dao was pretending to be pretentious to himself, and it was only at the moment when he realized the bone-affecting holy yin, that this terrifying technique was actually successfully practiced by Wang Dao. However, Liu Kai Shenfeng was still very curious, what exactly did Wang Dao use to cultivate the bone-corrupted sage? The monkey has been eroded by the bone erosion Saint Yin and there is no scum left. And the man lying in the pool of blood died in a terrible state, without a trace of life. The monkey was originally a beast in Songting, but why did it burst out of his body? Appear here again. They have yet to know all this. At the same time, Wang Dao used his breath to suppress the black energy. A breath of reincarnation that only belongs to the two yin and yang spews out. Suddenly, Wang Dao shouted, extremely Yin Qi, close it. Yin Qi kept escaping into Wang Dao's body, and disappeared in an instant. Looking at the male corpse in front of him, Wang Dao stretched out his hand again, turning black energy. With the destiny of reincarnation, I will bring you into the Yin Si Sao mansion and give you the name Hai Wucheng. The bloody male corpse suddenly opened his hollow eyes. At this moment, he is no longer an anonymous male corpse, but the impermanence under Wang Dao's seat. After Hai Wucheng opened his eyes, the white pupils stared at Wang Dao. Liu Kai Shenfeng looked at the black impermanence in front of him warily, pushed Wang Dao and shouted, the corpse is cheated, can't you run? Liu Kai Shenfeng said dumbly. Wang Dao laughed and said nothing. In the next moment, Hai Wucheng bowed respectfully in front of Wang Dao. Even the scum that had been obscured by the bone-eating saint was obscured by the monkey, and Wang Dao could also perceive that the mysterious black gas disappeared with the monkey. It seemed that the dark goddess completely regarded this man as a vessel for cultivating sages. As an evil thing, you must need a vessel to hold it. This man is really miserable. However, at this moment, Hai Wuchang, who was kneeling on the ground, suddenly fell to the ground slowly and unconsciously. Wang Dao knew that the bone-eroded sacred shelter he had obtained could annihilate any evil things, and at the same time, it could domesticate evil things and serve him. Although Hai Wuchang fell into a coma, this was his practice method. Only through a slumber and coma can it adapt and digest his current identity. At this moment, Wang Dao, who had returned to his mind, suddenly realized that a strange rune suddenly appeared in his spiritual consciousness. After taming the black impermanence, this rune suddenly awakened as if it was alive. Inherit the talent, thing cherished and countless times more noble than all innate bones. It is very rare for ordinary people to have congenital bones, but there are only a handful of people who have congenital bones, such as Luo Qingshan. To become a female emperor is to transform the bones into fairy bones. And this inheritance talent completely surpasses both. This talent can reverse yin and yang and create another world. However, Wang Dao, who has acquired the talent for inheritance, has a dumbfounded look. Reverse yin and yang, create another world. What is this? Wang Dao said that he is just a salted fish lying flat and practicing. What is the specific role of this thing? However, this inheritance talent is hard to come by. One day, this thing will come in handy. Wang Dao once again confirmed that after no one in the Dali dynasty found them, the two beasts once again set foot on the unfinished road. Converge with Luo Qingshan. At the same time that Lu Kai Shenfeng and Wang Dao each got their chances. Luo Qingshan is leading his troops to station a barracks in a place 100 miles away from the dynasty. In the Dagon dynasty, Luo Qingshan wore a gilt robe embroidered with dragon patterns, and his face was full of majesty. But in the camp, she was dressed in a purple robe embroidered with green patterns, covered with a creamy white-breasted jacket with a bright silk surface. A pair of eyes shines on the cold star, as far away as the independence of a mountain. After reincarnation, she studied the art of war hard, and she was also very comfortable in the use of soldiers. It was precisely because of her shrewd command that the forces of several neighboring countries near the Dagon dynasty were defeated by them one after another. When she gave an order to destroy the sect, she learned that many neighboring countries wanted to take advantage of the fire. After she knew about it, she sent out an army of beast masters with a thunderous blow, and severely damaged the neighboring countries. Return to the sect, and destroy the family. Let the Dagon now unite the Dagon up and down. With sufficient troops, it can completely annihilate any dynasty next to it. This time, when it was only 100 miles away from the dynasty, a small country sent troops again, intending to attack them from the rear. All this was seen by Luo Qingshan. She took the strategic map and ordered the military officers in the dynasty how to fight. At this moment, Luo Qingshan suddenly felt a burning in his chest. For a moment, she was stunned. The civil and military officials thought that Luo Qingshan was sick from overwork and wanted to let her go to rest. But at this time, Luo Qingshan waved her hand, her face full of shock and doubt. This Wang Dao, I haven't seen him for a few days. Has he obtained a new technique? After spending so many days with Wang Dao, Luo Qingshan has always been curious about Wang Dao. After all, Wang Dao, who didn't practice all day, had nothing to do with the dynasty all day, but was able to obtain the most powerful technique over and over again, and his cultivation level was constantly improving. This is certainly not as simple as luck. At this moment, Luo Qingshan held her breath, but she was stunned for the next moment. Reverse yin and yang, create another world. This. Luo Qingshan didn't need to feel the ability that inheritance runes brought to her, just these few words were enough to shock her. Even if she was the Empress in her previous life, she was shocked at this moment. Where did this guy get the chance? At the same time, the two beasts are about to converge with Luo Qingshan. But at this moment, Wang Dao could feel that the black impermanence was gradually awakening in a unique space in the Yinsi de Fu. Wake up so soon. Wang Dao originally thought that after taming the black impermanence, it will take some time to adapt to this world. Unexpectedly, within an hour, Hai Wuchang would slowly adapt to this world. Wang Dao subconsciously mobilized his aura, trying to summon He Wuchang from the Yin Sisao's mansion. But without waiting for his aura to run, his throat seemed to be firmly restrained by a pair of big hands. The black energy that was about to gush out also disappeared. Strange, what's the matter? An extremely cold air spread all over Wang Dao's body, and even the six-color divine phoenix on the side felt cold all over. Perceiving the strangeness, Wang Dao hurriedly closed his eyes, but before his eyes, He Wuchang was tightly bound in front of an unusually bright gate. It turned out to be so. Wang Dao somewhat understood. Although he used the bone-corrupted holy yin to domesticate the black impermanence, in the laws of heaven and earth, the evil things cannot exist in this world. It is unreasonable for He Wuchang to enter this world from the Yin Si de Fu. Thinking of this, Wang Dao couldn't help cursing. Aren't you cheating? Tell Laozi that you can domesticate evil things, but after you have domesticated, you tell yourself that evil things cannot enter this world. Something that can't interfere with this world at all, what use do I want this thing to do? This operation really made Wang Dao a little painful. He originally wanted He Wuchang to be a capable man under his command, so he would be his personal bodyguard on weekdays, and would send him out to do miscellaneous affairs if he had nothing to do. But now, this is just my own fantasy. This is so painful. How does this make him pretend to be in front of Luo Qingshan? Suddenly, He Wuchang stopped struggling in front of the bright door, and a vigorous voice rang in Wang Dao's ears. Master, I can feel that you want to call me out, but a strong pressure has bound me tightly in the Yin Sisao mansion. It seems that when I absorbed too much yin qi before I was alive, things with extremely yin will definitely be rejected by the 10,000 realms. If you can provide me with a little yang energy, I will be sure to break free and be by your side at any time. After hearing this, Wang Dao gave a wry smile. Give him a little yang. It's simple to say, but it's clueless to do it. The yin and yang qi between the heavens and the earth is originally a mystery that is difficult to understand. It is very rare for oneself to be able to domesticate evil things. Where can I find yang qi for you if I am a salted fish? Is it possible that, just like what was said in the movie, let Laozi give you a bit of yang? How could it be that easy? And isn't this going to kill Brother Go? Suddenly, Wang Dao's inspiration flashed. He suddenly remembered, after gaining his inheritance talent, doesn't this thing have a role? It seems to be called to reverse the yin and yang. As He Wuchang said, this nameless male corpse was used as a vessel for cultivating evil things during his lifetime. After absorbing so much yin qi, this will naturally be classified as a different kind by the Great Thousand World, independent of the three realms, not within the five elements. The effect of inheritance runes can reverse yin and yang. Thinking of this, Wang Dao used his talent and supernatural powers to his fullest. In an instant, the black impermanence in Yin Sisao's mansion felt Wang Dao's call, and the bright giant gate suddenly collapsed. He Wuchang rushed out of the prison, and by reversing the effect of yin and yang, the yin qi in his body instantly transformed into yang qi. After feeling this full of yang qi, even He Wuchang was surprised. He looked at Wang Dao in a little fear, not daring to look down upon him. It seems that his master has great magical powers and is not an ordinary little dog. Ha, impermanence, see master. He Wuchang knelt down on the ground with excitement, facing Wang Dao, respectfully. It stands to reason that if he is entangled by this kind of yin qi, he will definitely fall under the 9 springs, and it is Wang Dao that will pull him out of the abyss. He has nothing but gratitude in his heart for Wang Dao. Wang Dao nodded in satisfaction. It seems that this inheritance rune is not useless. Get up, as long as you are loyal to me, eldest brother, I promise to take you to eat and drink spicy food. Wang Dao patted his chest as if he was a good elder brother. This posture of Wang Dao made He Wuchang suddenly stunned. He originally thought that the one who summoned himself must be the Lord of the 9 realms. But Wang Dao's tone was full of grounded words. However, this has no effect at all, and his awe and gratitude for Wang Dao. He Wuchang knelt on the ground again, and said decisively, I will surely devastate the master, and follow me to the death. Seeing He Wuchang so loyal, Wang Dao nodded in satisfaction. This also made Wang Dao think that the goddess must have used some secret technique to cultivate evil things in the human body. It seems that in the future, against the goddess, He Wuchang definitely has the means to subdue it. Now he has successfully summoned Haiwuchang, and gradually explored the role of inheritance runes, which made Wang Dao full of joy. Next, the two beasts and Haiwuchang hurried again to meet Luo Qingshan. With Haiwuchang, Wang Dao lay on Liukai Shenfeng very leisurely, turning his belly up and humming a little song. Haiwuchang will naturally become their striker, responsible for watching the situation around to prevent threats. Purely a free thug. After climbing over a large mountain, there was a roar at the foot. This also awakened Wang Dao from his sleep, wiped his saliva, and realized that under them, there were several armies fighting here. Although Wang Dao had nothing to do in the dynasty on weekdays, he could still recognize the official uniform of the dynasty. It seems that Luo Qingshan has already led his troops to fight with the enemy. However, the current situation is not optimistic. The terrain below this mountain is intricate and complex. Although the main force is large, it is difficult to stop the enemy's surprise attacks from all directions. Under this kind of hostile situation, these generals who worked hard had absolutely no chance of survival. In war, there are victories and defeats. The winner enjoys glory, and the loser dies tragically. This is the eternal law. The soldiers of the Dagon dynasty also found that the enemy used terrain and wheel tactics to besiege them one by one and defeat them one by one. The remaining soldiers also had a foreboding that there was only one dead end for another battle. But at this time, they did not choose to surrender. A military officer of Dagon raised his spear at this moment and roared, "Our soldiers, even if they died in battle today, they must not surrender. As long as we are still alive, we cannot allow the enemy to invade any inch of my land. I firmly believe that we must do something in our death. Your Majesty, it is the incompetent minister, who has given away so many lives to the beast master in vain." The general, riding on a saber-toothed tiger, the words fell, he urged the last trace of aura in his body and chose to explode. He wants to use his life to defend the land of Dagon. The dignity of Dagon. He wants to guard this country and guard the safety of the great people. Wang Dao was stunned. The enemy had never expected that this general would not even want his life, and would use this method to die with them. The enemies retreated one after another, but the generals rode on the saber-toothed tiger and quickly attacked them. At this moment, a thin figure suddenly appeared in front of the general. The only trace of spiritual energy in the body was also sucked up suddenly, and the general and his spirit beast saber-toothed tiger fell directly to the ground. The general lay on the ground, his hands clasped with Lois. He didn't expect that in the enemy's camp, there is actually a powerful master. Even the self-destruction was interrupted. The general showed a sorrowful smile, calmly waiting for the arrival of death. Not only him, but the soldiers behind him all showed desperate expressions at this moment. They thought that with their own lives, they could reduce the enemy's strength, but they simply underestimated the enemy's strength. Without summoning the spirit beast, there is such a powerful method. They have no chance at all. The appearance of Haiwuchang also made the enemy stunned. They looked at Haiwuchang with bewildered expressions, and could not tell whether they were friends or foes. He turned his back to the soldiers, looking at the enemy beastmaster with a majestic expression. "Limit your time for a stick of incense, get out of here. Otherwise, I will obliterate you on behalf of my master's wishes." For an instant, the soldiers of the enemy army showed sarcasm one after another. Although Tong Dagon had been fighting for a while, and his own forces had been consumed a lot, there was only one person on the other side. There are tens of thousands of troops behind them. Thousands of royal beast masters. With one person, threatening them with tens of thousands of troops and making them retreat. Who do you think you are? I thought you came to fight with thousands of troops. I never thought you were the only one. If you want to die, I don't mind sending one more person. The general who was going to blow himself up even shouted to Haiwuchang. You must be the Grand Master of the royal beast sent by Her Majesty the Empress, but now there is a huge disparity in military strength. We are willing to sacrifice our lives to defend this territory. We also hope that you will not be impulsive. Save your strength. You have a bigger role to play, please evacuate quickly, and leave it to us. Emperor Dagon, as well as Lord Zhengguo Spirit Beast, will all be guarded by you. The general shouted heartbreakingly, but in front of him, the stalwart body suddenly turned around. Haiwuchang has no blood in his eyes. He, who is a sinister evil creature, shouldn't have emotions, but at this moment, he was a little touched by the general's words. It seems that the Lord Zhengguo spirit beast in your mouth is my master of impermanence. The generals widened their eyes and asked in surprise, your master? Is it Lord Zhengguo spirit beast? He Wucheng nodded, facing the vast enemy army, he said with a majestic expression. Yes, my master, is your Zhengguo spirit beast, Master Wang Dao. As soon as this remark came out, the world was quiet. The vast enemy army also showed a look of astonishment here. Chapter 91. The name of the person, the shadow of the tree. In the Dagon dynasty, first the female emperor Luo Qingshan broke the sect force with the help of thunder. Afterwards, there is the Zhengguo spirit beast Wang Dao, whose name is so big that everyone in the country and the wild does not know it. A terrible little dog with its shameless appearance can burst out with such amazing power. Just reminding them that Wang Dao was in the Yunlin sect alone and blasted the Yunlin sect master with one blow, and this alone shocked everyone. Right now, when the thin man called out Wang Dao's name, thousands of enemy troops trembled in his legs. The soldiers of the Dagon dynasty rekindled hope. Looking at the thin figure from their back, they shouted excitedly. Sure enough, Euphorbia did not forget us. Master Wang Dao is here, we are saved. The majesty of the female emperor. Our Euphorbia soldiers did not try their best in vain. Thinking of the man in front of him as the guard of Master Wang Dao, they were even more convinced that this battle would surely defeat the enemy. Not only them, but tens of thousands of enemy troops are also a little nervous, but if tens of thousands of enemy troops are just afraid of a little dog, this matter spreads out, where is the majesty of their dynasty? There is no other way but to bite the bullet. Brothers, it's just a little dog, not three-headed and six-armed, why should we be timid? Even if we are not the opponents of the Euphorbia dynasty, but it is their shit, a few domineering guys, now I will cut you to my blade. Kill. Thousands of enemy troops roared at this moment and rushed towards He Wucheng. He Wucheng was expressionless, and when the soldiers behind him had just regained their strengths and were preparing to fight to the death, He Wucheng suddenly raised his arms and shouted. There was no aura surging, but this drink instantly solidified the surrounding air. Even the temperature dropped a few degrees at this moment. The black air is soaring, and it spreads across the entire mountain range, making it extremely gloomy and terrifying. Countless contract beasts screamed. Thousands of enemy troops, aware of the strangeness at this moment, stopped one after another, looking around in surprise. What happened? Why suddenly feel so cold? Ah, look over us. The strong black energy completely envelops tens of thousands of enemy troops, and in an instant, the black energy is like a black hole in hell, making the soldiers' eyes dull. Hey! Suddenly, a sharp voice sounded. Among the Euphorbia soldiers, a soldier suddenly shouted in dismay, Pharaoh! Pharaoh, haven't you already died in battle? Why did you suddenly come back to life? The dead body was reborn. This is naturally impossible. He Wucheng itself was born in the Yinsi Sao mansion, possessing the ability to contend with the Hades. This time he borrowed the power of the Hades to resurrect the soldiers who died in battle. Although it is short, but it has 70% combat effectiveness. This is the power of impermanence. It is also his horror. Of course there are limitations in strength, otherwise it would be too bad. Wang Dao and Liukai Shenfeng, who were watching from a distance, looked surprised after seeing the black impermanence. This black and impermanent abuse was beyond his expectation. In the eyes of the enemy, this is an act of giving away heads, but to the black impermanence, he has this capital arrogance. Suddenly, countless corpses fell on the ground faintly. The black energy permeated the tens of thousands of elite soldiers, the soldiers who died in the Euphorbia battle, and the dead low-level contract beasts, immediately after the resurrection, rushed to the tens of thousands of soldiers. The enemy army was completely stunned by the strange scene in front of them. When they came back to their senses, the gloomy corpses had already pierced their fangs and claws fiercely into their chests. After bursts of screams, they echoed throughout the valley. He Wucheng looked at the group of Yin soldiers with a gloomy expression, and the Euphorbia soldiers behind him, seeing this situation, showed a look of error. The scream alone made people feel terrified from the bottom of their hearts. At any rate, they are elite troops rushing to the battlefield and licking blood on the tip of a knife, but this situation has completely subverted their perceptions. This is just the guard under the seat of Master Wang Dao. If Master Wang Dao takes action, this tens of thousands of enemy troops will be killed in an instant. It's horrible. Even Lord Zhengguo spirit beast subordinates are so powerful. What terrifying magical powers Lord Wang Dao himself has. It seems that Euphorbia will unify the ruling and the opposition, and the day is just around the corner. Soon, tens of thousands of enemy troops had no intention to fight at all. In the face of these monsters, they have nothing to do. Even if these monsters are cut to pieces, the bodies of these monsters will quickly heal in the next second and become fierce Yin soldiers again. In less than half an hour, under such consumption, tens of thousands of elite soldiers only have less than 2,000 troops. The remaining surviving enemy troops all knelt down at this moment. Because of fear, their hands could no longer hold weapons, and they only hoped that they would beg for mercy and could get a life back. But these Yin soldiers have no feelings at all. The order Hai Wuchang gave them was to wipe out these enemy forces completely. They must obey the command of the master. Soon, the blood dyed the entire mountain red, and the strong smell of blood shocked all the beasts. After that, Hai Wuchang suddenly bowed his knees and bowed his hands, facing God, and said, "Master, you have cleaned up the enemy army according to your request." It was completely unexpected to the soldiers of the Euphorbia that the impermanence that would kill the gods seemed so humble and scared when facing Wang Dao. For a moment, the Euphorbia soldiers knelt together. For them, even the soldiers under Wang Dao's command are so powerful, why would they lose? Tens of thousands of people shouted respectfully, facing God. "Welcome to Lord Zhengguo Spirit Beast." Under the gaze of thousands of people, Wang Dao rode a 6-color phoenix and landed slowly. He saw the impermanent behavior in his eyes. Wang Dao glanced at Hai Wuchang with satisfaction, and then turned to look at the Euphorbia soldiers. "You see death as home on the battlefield. You really deserve to be soldiers of my Euphorbia dynasty. I am proud that Euphorbia can have you." Thousands of soldiers showed excitement on their faces. The people's aspirations, they are not at the mercy of others, they are not dead ghosts, the Lord Zhengguo spirit beast remembers them. Later, Wang Dao also learned from the generals that several neighboring dynasties had launched surprise attacks on the way to encircle and suppress Dali dynasty. These dynasties joined forces one after another to trap most of the forces of the Euphorbia from the sides, so that they would completely contain the Euphorbia dynasty. "Where is Luo Qingshan? Where is it now?" Wang Dao asked. A general looked stern and pointed to the mountains in front of him. "We are the rear troops supporting the past. In terms of time, I am afraid that your Majesty's current situation is very urgent. We must rush to help. The main force is there." Wang Dao nodded, and immediately the two beasts and Hai Wuchang walked in the forefront of the camp, and the remaining Euphorbia soldiers followed right and left. Although the military strength is crippled, at this moment, the hearts of the soldiers are extremely firm. There are still more than 30 miles away from the Great Dynasty. Approaching the Dali dynasty again, considering the issue of reinforcements in the rear, Luo Qingshan could only slow down his pace. Countless barracks are stationed here. Among them, in the largest tent, Luo Qingshan held a strategic map, and the military officers on the side looked grim. "Your Majesty, the rear forces have been blocked by other dynasties. Now we are only 30 miles away from the Dali dynasty. If we insist on advancing now, I am afraid it will lead to a big mistake. Your Majesty, the Dali dynasty has sent us a letter of persuasion to surrender. Your Majesty, now the sect forces that are far from the dynasty are also gathering together, and the strength of many sect elders cannot be underestimated." Within the camp, the generals reported the news one by one. And these news made the generals on the Zhengrong battlefield realize that if they still insisted on going to the Dali dynasty this time, it would be a dead end for them. The troops in the rear were blocked, and now there were only more than 40,000 soldiers led by Luo Qingshan. With this strength alone, they were fighting against the Dali dynasty. They were completely using their praying arms as a chariot and hitting rocks with pebbles. Several dynasties assembled together, and the sect forces in the Great Li dynasty also began to target Euphorbia. In this battle, the Euphorbia dynasty is being encircled and suppressed by various forces. But in front of them, Luo Qingshan's majestic expression has not been cut by half, and if he is replaced by someone else, he has long been desperate. Although Euphorbia brought back the power of the Zongmin, the rivers and lakes and the wells of the Zongmin did not offend the rivers. Like this kind of battle, the Zongmin would not participate in it. But the sect forces of the Great Li dynasty suddenly gathered, and this alone was somewhat beyond Luo Qingshan's expectations. It's really tricky, but it does not mean that this battle has no chance of winning. Luo Qingshan recorded the news reported to her by the generals one by one, and finally got up and walked out of the camp slowly. Looking at the boundless earth, feeling the last tranquility of the ruling and the opposition. Luo Qingshan knew that it would not be long before the two sides fought, and blood would shed thousands of miles away, and the people would not have a lot of livelihood. In the end, the people paid the price for the war. It is not easy to be the king of a country. Thinking of this, Luo Qingshan couldn't help closing her eyes. For her, she now needs to break through the bottleneck and increase her cultivation to the early stage of Tier 3. If it can break through, I am afraid that Euphorbia still has a chance of winning. But during the bottleneck period, what is needed most is precipitation. If she can't break through, she can only choose to break through the bottleneck forcefully. But there are sequelae, which is not what she wants. As the Empress, she is all for the people. This dynasty, she will not allow to decline in her hands. As the Euphorbia Empress, if I want to do it, no one can stop me. At this moment, Luo Qingshan suddenly felt the blood surge all over his body. Luo Qingshan's beautiful eyes widened in vain, and it seemed that he was going to break through the second stage of the second stage and improve to the third stage of the early stage. She is ranked third, that is, the third order invincible hand, even the fourth order beast master has the power to fight. At the moment when the aura was fluctuating, the military officers in the camp also felt this breath. Many military officers looked out of the camp one after another. Luo Qingshan's whole body was surrounded by blue and white aura. Your Majesty, are you going to break through the second order bottleneck? Your Majesty is really brave. The height reached at a young age is above hundreds of millions of people. In this world, there are not many beast masters who know how many beast masters are stuck in a bottleneck and cannot improve for a long time. After all, the bottleneck is like a diaphragm. That layer of diaphragm looks very fragile, but if you want to break through that layer of diaphragm under the impetus of aura, it will inevitably require a long time of precipitation. What's more, Luo Qingshan had been stuck for several months in the late stage of the second stage. At the same time, Wang Dao and Liukai Shenfeng also noticed this abnormality in their bodies. Liukai Shenfeng is a sacred beast-level bloodline. After purifying the bloodline in the realm of trial, it can better perceive the changes in the body of the beast master. At this time, Liukai Shenfeng shouted to Wang Dao. Wang Dao, have you noticed that the master seems to be forcibly breaking through the bottleneck? Wang Dao nodded, sighed and said, I can understand why this woman has to break through the bottleneck forcibly. It seems that this battle is not a small pressure for her. Lu Kai Shenfeng was in a hurry. The master is too anxious. If you force a breakthrough and you are bitten by the heart demon, the consequences will be disastrous. This is her own choice, since she chose to force a breakthrough. Success or failure depends on her luck. Although Wang Dao looked calm, but likewise, his heart was still sweating for Luo Qingshan. They didn't know that Luo Qingshan did not break through suddenly. Just as the two hesitated, a huge aura burst out in an instant. Heaven and earth vision. I saw the white clouds in the sky, moving quickly with the aura, and soon formed a 7-color cloud. Colorful clouds. Condensation of law. There is such a vision, which also means that after breaking through the third level, the cultivator himself will condense a Dharma image. The formation of Dharma phases can increase the physique of the cultivator. For a lucky person, after condensing the Dharma phases, a layer of golden pattern will be condensed all over the body, which is supernatural and powerful. These phenomena are to allow the beast masters to gain more powerful magical powers. Since Luo Qingshan has forcibly broken through the bottleneck, and now he has condensed the magic phase, it seems that this breakthrough, 9 out of 10, can be successfully promoted to the early stage of the third stage. Great officers and soldiers, when they saw these 7-colored clouds, they were completely shocked in their hearts. They stared dumbfounded at the heavens, and then at Luo Qingshan, who was surrounded by the bluish-white spiritual energy. Whether it is the Euphorbia dynasty or the neighboring dynasties, they are watching quietly in the distance. Soon, the 7-colored clouds suddenly condensed together, and the huge cloud body and the spiritual energy also gushed away, and the 7-colored clouds vomited each other. At this time, some talents later realized it. Luo Qingshan has successfully promoted to the early stage of Tier 3, and at this moment, he is condensing the magic phase. And more power than others. The soldiers of the Dagon dynasty, for a time, countless people were overjoyed. Our euphorbia is saved. God has eyes. Now that they have successfully promoted to the early stage of Tier 3, next, they are looking forward to what kind of magic phase Luo Qingshan can condense. At this time, Song Ting and the goddess, who were far from the dynasty, also saw this vision of heaven and earth together. After learning that Luo Qingshan did this vision of the world, Song Ting looked forward to it in her heart. Even if Luo Qingshan was promoted, the Dharma images she condensed must not be too rare. After all, the quality of the law directly determines the strength of the strength. At this time, Luo Qingshan's eyes were closed tightly, and in her spiritual sense, she was also curious as to what the condensed Dharma image she had this time was like. For her, she was already very happy to be able to be promoted through this forced breakthrough. As for the quality of the Dharma, she didn't care. For her, after being reincarnated, she must become the Empress of a country, to influence the world, and to let God retain her prestigious name. So, you can. Soon, the colorful clouds poured into Luo Qingshan's body together with the blue-white spiritual energy. But at this moment, everyone did not feel the energetic aura brought by the FA image. Even Luo Qingshan couldn't even feel the increase in Faxiong. It's not because the Dharma is too good. It's Dharma. Extremely bad. Everyone looked at this scene in disbelief. There is no aura flowing, such a state, with the potential of the female emperor, after the breakthrough, shouldn't it? If there is no such a vision of heaven and earth, I would never know that Her Majesty the Empress is condensing the magic phase. This is unscientific. At the same time, in the Great Li dynasty, when Song Ting felt Luo Qingshan's condensed image of the law, the huge boulder in her heart suddenly fell to the ground. Song Ting said arrogantly, "Haha, it's such a wasteful face. This is the first time I have seen such a weak form." The soldiers of the Dagon dynasty, the joy on their faces also solidified in vain. They originally thought that Luo Qingshan could break through the Dali dynasty by breaking through the third order, condensing the strongest magic form, and inspiring his own combat power. But now, the result makes them a little desperate. Miles away, Wang Dao and Liukai Shenfeng also led the remnants to quickly support them. On the way, Wang Dao suddenly felt a faint aura. Suddenly, Wang Dao was stunned. He could feel this spiritual energy floating in his body. After a while, Wang Dao realized that his whole body was full of strangeness. Is my cultivation level also improved? This aura seemed weak, but it made Wang Dao's body full of power. At this time, Wang Dao thought, I am afraid that Luo Qingshan made a successful breakthrough this time, and also allowed himself to further improve his cultivation. Among the beast masters and spirit beasts, they are both glorious and glorious. Right now, Luo Qingshan forcibly broke through the early stage of Tier 3, and after condensing the magic phase, her strength exploded. This also gave Wang Dao's cultivation a considerable increase, and even the six-colored god Phoenix also captured this faint aura together. The vision rises steeply and is spectacular. When the soldiers on the side saw this, they immediately shouted excitedly. Congratulations, Your Majesty! Congratulations to Lord Zhengguo Spirit Beast, for improving my cultivation and helping me to do my best. Everyone said respectfully and loudly. But at this moment, a strange feeling once again spread all over Wang Dao's body. Not only that, but the sudden change. The sky suddenly became very dazzling, and everyone looked up at the sky, but found that there was an extremely dazzling golden light in the sky. Even the great beast masters couldn't stop the dazzling golden light. The golden light made everyone afraid to look directly at it. The six-color divine phoenix with the blood of a divine beast level, at this moment, resisted the glare and looked towards the sky. Just looking at it in this way made Liukai Shenfeng suddenly stunned. How can there be 9 more suns suddenly in this sky? As soon as this remark came out, the audience was surprised. Even Wang Dao's face changed drastically in an instant. He raised his head and opened his eyes strenuously. 1, 2, 3. It really is 9 suns. 9 suns volley. 9 suns supreme. In Wang Dao's mind, an ethereal voice came. Ding! Congratulations to the host for successfully condensing the Dhamma. How is this possible? Wang Dao, is a spirit beast, how could it condense into a Dharma image? While the Beast Master and the Spirit Beast increase their cultivation base, they also get different bonuses. Generally, Spirit Beasts can take pills to refine more powerful magic formulas. But the Beast Master, while improving his cultivation level, has the blessings of the law to gain stronger combat power. Although there are similarities between the two, the heaven and earth vision created by the condensing method is not something that can be achieved by the formula technique. But right now, he turned out to be like a human being, stimulating the spiritual energy of heaven and earth, and condensing the magic image. At this moment, everyone stared at Wang Dao dumbfounded. At this moment, a vigorous voice came from the sky again. Hai Wuchang was the first to perceive this sound. At this time, his brain suddenly started to suffer severe pain, and he clutched his head and shouted. This is actually the Fenyin Faxiong descending into the world. In Wang Dao's divine sense, he also felt this burning sound. Fenyin Dharma, ranked 6th among all sentient beings. With this form, you can perceive the world and lead the common people. In the sky, the dazzling golden light from the 9 golden suns made everyone stare with breathlessness. This powerful pressure made it difficult for them to breathe. After a long time, Wang Dao has already turned into Teoti, the fierce beast. This is the first time he has shown himself. The terrifying purple flames have wrapped his whole body. Not only that, but while being covered by purple flames, several golden burning texts appeared in the center of Wang Dao's eyebrows. Just as Hai Wucheng thought, after condensing the Fenyin Fa phase, Wang Dao's figure became taller, and under his feet, there were bulls, ghosts and snakes. Many people took a closer look and found that Wang Dao's feet were stepping on many projections of mythological beasts, which made their scalp numb. Picking one of these fierce beasts can subvert the entire dynasty of the world. As for Wang Dao, these fierce beasts are only worthy of being trampled underfoot by himself. Dagon all the soldiers, but also surrendered from the heart under Wang Dao. Even Liu Kai Shenfeng lowered his arrogant head. Is this really a contract beast of mortal bloodline? All of them knelt down under Wang Dao, and they were completely shocked by the majestic scene. There were many visions, and Luo Qingshan was also felt there after the Fenyin Faxiong was condensed. At the same time, within the camp, the big officers and soldiers were on both sides, stopping Luo Qingshan far away. Soon after, Luo Qingshan's Dharma phase condensed successfully. The aura between heaven and earth suddenly dissipated. Although Luo Qingshan's condensed form was very low level, the leaders and ministers had already embraced the idea of seeing death as home, and launched a fierce battle with the Dali dynasty. I didn't lose my confidence. Luo Qingshan felt a little helpless, but her mentality was quite good, and she firmly believed that something was wrong, otherwise it would never be the case. In the Dali dynasty, Song Ting even gave an order to send troops to strangle Luo Qingshan and everyone. Haha, the dignified female emperor, the condensed form is so low level, it really makes the world laugh. Take advantage of Luo Qingshan's recovery, now send troops to take down the soldiers of the Dagon dynasty. Today, this Dagon dynasty should also disappear. Everyone in the great Dali dynasty, at this moment, looked far away. To them, the people in the Dali dynasty were like fish on the chopping board. After the condensing was successful, Luo Qingshan opened her eyes, and the spiritual energy lingering around her gradually dissipated. But at this moment, Luo Qingshan suddenly felt that a surging aura suddenly surged around them. In that momentum, there is also a strong sense of killing. The Royal Beast Division Corps also sensed this murderous aura, and immediately sent troops to guard Luo Qingshan. The 7 phenomena of different colors suddenly condensed around the camp. In an instant, a strong killing intent enveloped the entire faction. The 7 killers sent by the Great Li dynasty immediately rushed towards Luo Qingshan, and everyone in the U-Beast Division's army was basically at the early stage of Tier 3. 7 strong players at the early stage of Tier 3 shot, and they have no chance of winning. But in order to protect your majesty, they shook hands with their weapons and prepared for a decisive battle. But at this moment, beside Luo Qingshan, a dazzling golden light bloomed. That strong light directly broke through the sky, making the entire dim horizon bright. Immediately afterwards, the 9 golden wheels burst out. That is to say, in the stunned space, the golden light suddenly appeared, and countless people were stunned. Under the huge golden wheel, a golden light fell from the sky. Under the golden light, Luo Qingshan faced the 7 killers majestically. Kill, Luo Qingshan spit out gently. But the next moment, a violent and majestic force swept out. Suddenly, in front of Luo Qingshan, a Teoti fierce beast covered with purple flames suddenly appeared in front of everyone. At the same time, the moment Teoti appeared, the 7 strong men were all washed away by this spiritual energy. Teoti's power burst out with all strength. Puff! The condensed facial features in front of the 7 powerful men were instantly shattered, and the 7 assassins suffered heavy physical injuries and fell to the ground to vomit blood. They were holding on to their bodies, looking at the fierce beast in front of them. At this moment there was nothing but fear in their eyes. Rout with a single blow, clean and neat. Luo Qingshan raised his hand again, and Wang Dao, who was transformed into a Teoti fierce beast, rushed to everyone. Where are the 7 killers willing to face the battle? After summoning the contract beast again, they ran away. Leave me in front. Naughty animal, quickly escort the master to retreat. Hold them for me. These 7 killers can only let the spirit beasts use their lives to cover their retreat. At this moment, the great leaders and soldiers were in a surging mood. Under Luo Qingshan's leadership, most of the troops of the Dagon dynasty exploded with a thunderous momentum and went straight to the gate of the Dagon dynasty. When several dynasties in neighboring countries saw this, they felt fear in their hearts. They couldn't think of it, condensing such a low-level Dharma form, but in Luo Qingshan's hands, it can burst out of incomparable power. The soldiers of several dynasties showed timid expressions. Seeing this, Song Ting waved his hand immediately, facing the thousands of elites under him, and said, "Do not panic. This Dagon dynasty is just using its momentum to resist their shortcomings. In the final analysis, it is just a group of brave soldiers whose oil lamps have dried up. You are all the elite troops of my great Li dynasty, how can you worship in front of a woman?" In this way, this stabilized the military heart of the dynasty. This also made them realize, although Luo Qingshan condensed the magic phase, refining magical powers, but the strength of the 2 sides is huge, and in a battle, strength is the confidence of a dynasty. They also have Dark Goddess. And facing an army of millions of enemies, no matter how extensive Luo Qingshan's magical powers are, it will be difficult to stop the power of tens of thousands of troops. Ever since, in the Dali dynasty, the soldiers held their minds and faced the battle calmly and unhurriedly. On the other side, after driving away the 7 assassins, Luo Qingshan directly led the U-Beast Division Corps and directly launched a general attack on the Dali dynasty. But on the road, a piece of news made Luo Qingshan have to order to stop the pursuit. Report, Your Majesty. The force in the Dali dynasty is estimated to be more than 400,000, and now we only have less than 70,000 people left. There is a huge gap in the strength of the 2 sides, and it is really impossible to break through. Luo Qingshan frowned when she heard it. Although it has condensed the image of the law and has the heavenly power, but in the face of hundreds of thousands of troops, this is a little more than enough. No way. The Dali dynasty united several dynasties, and under the joint hands of Zongmin, the military strength skyrocketed. This is really not the case. You can control the situation of the battle just by condensing the image of the law. Luo Qingshan sighed deeply. She raised her head and said in deep thought, "It seems that we can only use the whole cards." As the Empress of a country, she didn't want to see these 70,000 soldiers die with her. This dynasty, she would never allow it decayed. Similarly, to use that whole card, you need to pay a certain price. She had to think twice. When Luo Qingshan was about to do it, a familiar smell suddenly made Luo Qingshan look backward. Wang Dao. It's Wang Dao. Although there are still a few miles, this breath is definitely not wrong with Wang Dao. This fool is finally back. Wang Dao's return made Luo Qingshan's eyes a little red. She vaguely remembered that just as she was preparing to fight the great Li dynasty, this servant took Liu Kai Shenfang to travel around the mountains and water. He was almost pissed to death when he heard the news. How could he appear here? What made Luo Qingshan even more unexpected was that as the distance got closer, she was surprised to see that behind Wang Dao was a huge army. On the way, Wang Dao was recruiting troops all the way, and when he met some people who were separated, he was directly paid to his command. The conditions are very simple. These chaotic people, these beast masters, as long as they enter the army, after the war is over, they can directly enter the Dagon and become one of the people recognized by the Dagon. In this era of wars, many areas have broken homes and killed people because of wars. Even some high-ranking beast masters are the same. Now there is a prosperous dynasty that is willing to take them in, so it is natural to help them, and when they are old, they have a destination. As a result, the number of remnants led by Wang Dao has directly increased to more than tens of thousands. As Wang Dao gets closer and closer to herself, Luo Qingshan can feel that Wang Dao's cultivation has been further improved. At this time, he also broke through the early stage of Tier 3, equal to his own strength. However, the next second, while Luo Qingshan was stunned, Wang Dao's body suddenly soared. The purple flames were the same as the law that he had condensed, except that on top of that huge body, there was a sacred stick braving black air. Purgatory stick. At this time, Wang Dao's strength also climbed to a terrifying point. Within the Dali dynasty, countless soldiers saw this, and their scalp numb instantly. What kind of monster is this? Is this the power of the beast? How could it appear here? And so terrifying. In that mass of black energy, the Purgatory God stick was like Wang Dao's body, straight through the sky. A gloomy black air is even more accompanied by the left and right. Climb for lousy. Throwing it down, Wang Dao waved vigorously. Boom! On the ground, there was a sudden loud noise. And a small hill in front of them was cut in half by this stick. Luo Qingshan was stunned. The soldiers of the Great Li dynasty were also stunned. The hill in front of him was the last line of defense of the Dali dynasty. There are countless magic circles inside. But in the face of such a surprising scene, they all found it unbelievable. Only this stick can smash the mountain. The gunpowder dissipated. The last line of defense of the Dali dynasty was defeated, and Luo Qingshan made a decisive decision and led his troops to fight forward. Wang Dao didn't stop there. The very huge body suddenly jumped directly over the entire mountain range. The magic stick in his hand bloomed with a strong killing intent. Boom! With another stick, the gate of Dali dynasty was smashed into pieces. Below the gate of the Great Li dynasty, there was a dead body. The Black Impermanence, who has been following Wang Dao, descended again. Make prints with both hands, and read the formula in the mouth. I named the Yin Si, and ordered the souls of heaven and earth to be used by me. Give an order. The soldiers who died under that city gate were called by Hai Wuchang and got up again. After recruiting the souls of the dead, at this moment one after another rushed into the Dali dynasty. Wang Dao grinned and shouted, how can this be enough for the Yin soldier? An unrelenting aura poured into Hai Wuchang's body, and Wang Dao yelled again. Reverse yin and yang. This majestic black energy poured into the dead souls, and countless dead souls emerged one after another, and the Black Impermanence ability reached a terrifying situation. That majestic spiritual power poured into the body of Hai Wuchang. Suddenly, more dead souls emerged from the ground. Luo Qingshan saw this scene, her beautiful eyes widened in vain. This power. She is very familiar. The countless Yin soldiers drilled out from the ground. After seeing the power of the Yin soldiers, the generals of the remnants did not hesitate, and directly yelled. Kill me. The roar, inspiring hundreds of thousands of soldiers, all rushed into the gate of the Dali dynasty. Luo Qingshan originally had the idea of retreating, but seeing Wang Dao leading the soldiers into the battle, at this moment, she said very firmly. Senior officer, listen to my orders. Regroup your forces, and attack the Dali dynasty. With Wang Dao's increase in staff, these tens of thousands of elite soldiers no longer hesitate, holding weapons in their hands, summoning spirit beasts, and rushing into the division of millions. Use hundreds of thousands of troops to fight against millions of heroes. There is a huge disparity in the number of people. This is undoubtedly not self-digging a grave. But if the people of the world know that it is the female emperor of the great goddess, they will not be surprised if they order the soldiers to enter the millions of heroes. Throughout the ruling and opposition parties, Luo Qingshan's prestige is known to everyone. The Dagon dynasty can never be underestimated, because no one in it is a generation to wait. Hundreds of thousands of soldiers rushed into the Dali dynasty at this moment. Brothers, rush. In order to contribute to our country's prestige, we will not hesitate to pay our lives. With the Zhengguo spirit beast and Her Majesty the Empress, how can we lose our lives in vain? Willing to pluck it all, dare to pull the emperor off the horse. Seeing that hundreds of thousands of elite soldiers can burst out with such a shocking aura, this makes the soldiers in the Great Li dynasty distracted. Moreover, there are many dead souls among the soldiers. They are like lunatics, wherever they go, corpses are everywhere, and blood flows into rivers. When the coalition forces of several dynasties saw this, they had no intention of fighting. Dead to death, escape to escape. As for helping out the Great Li dynasty, life is gone, how can you help out? The army is distracted. The sects assembled in the Dali dynasty saw Wang Dao holding the Purgatory Gods Club and smashing the gates of the Dali dynasty into powder together. They knew that this was a battle with no chance of winning. After all, the spearhead of the Dagon dynasty was only directed at the Dali dynasty. In the end, hundreds of thousands of elites from the rest of the dynasty were separated from the soldiers of the Dali dynasty in an instant. Zongmin also called on the disciples to retreat quickly. For a time, within the Great Li dynasty, there were only more than 200,000 dynasty troops. In the face of the dispersal of the army, the dynasty's sect army was distracted, and they withdrew one after another, which made Song Ting unexpected. He thought this was a battle that must be won, but in the end, the clown turned out to be him. The 200,000 troops of the Great Li dynasty were wiped out in an instant, and the rest of the soldiers fled into the dynasty, throwing away their helmets and abandoning their armor. Now, within the Dali dynasty, only 30,000 remaining troops are left. It can be said that there is no chance of winning this time in the Great Li dynasty. Completely defeated. A complete defeat. Within the dynasty, Song Ting, who was sitting high on the dragon chair, saw this and had to turn her head to look at the goddess. The goddess had no expression on her face, and seemed to have no idea about the complete defeat of Dali. Seeing the goddess so calm, Song Ting couldn't sit still. Goddess, you are going to make a move. If you don't make a move, the Great Li dynasty will suffer the disaster of the country. With Luo Qingshan's character, Song Ting believes, if they are far away from today, they will be shattered. Moreover, this Wang Dao is too abnormal. If this continues, the prince of his dynasty will definitely separate the corpse to warn the rest of the dynasty. There is only a dead end against the big guns. The goddess snorted coldly, and after removing her black robe, her long fingers were pinched into an orchid shape. Since the destruction of the Great Li is just around the corner, it is up to you people to become the foundation material for the snake. During the words, a black patterned python suddenly appeared beside the goddess. The black giant python curled up on the ground, and under the scales on its abdomen, there was a strong black air. What? Song Ting was so frightened that he fell directly from the dragon chair, and he looked at the giant python in horror. The remaining troops under him did not even think that it was the goddess of the Dark Temple that would extinguish the final hope just as the dynasty was at stake. Go, little snake, have a good meal. The goddess touched the body of the python, a look of compassion and love flowed from her expression. The giant python seemed to understand the voice of a goddess, and in an instant, it opened its blood basin and swallowed the soldiers who were facing downwards directly. Before the soldiers had time to scream, they entered the snake's belly, and no bones were left eroded by the corrosive liquid. Every time after swallowing countless elite soldiers, the giant python's figure quickly expands in a visible form. Soon, tens of thousands of elite soldiers all entered the snake's belly. What made Song Ting more terrified was that at this moment, he could hear that there were countless elite soldiers screaming in the giant python's body. That stern voice made Song Ting's hair stand upright. The goddess looked at Song Ting condescendingly, and said with a sneer, as the king of a country, even if I let you go, you will be beheaded by Luo Qingshan. Why don't you become a snake's plate Chinese food too? No. No. Song Ting hurriedly summoned the spirit beast, a white lion with its fangs exposed, to protect Song Ting. Song Ting laughed sorrowfully, what a goddess. I knew that you were married to me and you were not in good faith. Even if Dagon did not send troops to attack us today, one day, we will become the Chinese food for that spirit beast. HMPH, I don't see it, you are still quite smart. The goddess sneered, but I still have to correct you, the snake is not a spirit beast. Ha! In the next moment, the giant python swallowed Song Ting and his spirit beast directly into his abdomen. When Luo Qingshan led his troops to the interior of Dali dynasty, she opened the door and entered. The scene in front of her puzzled her. Strange, how about people? Wang Dao, who rushed over, looked at the empty dynasty and was also puzzled. At this time, Hai Wuchang on the side reminded, Master, I can feel that there is a very strong death around me. I am familiar with this lifelessness. Amidst the black and impermanent expression, full of resentment. Later, Wang Dao knew that before they came, the goddess had already wiped out the remaining forces of the Dali dynasty. However, Luo Qingshan naturally didn't know these things. Now that the Dali dynasty has become an empty city, it also means that the Dali dynasty will be destroyed with a decisive attitude in the Battle of the Great Army. Long live the Zhengguo spirit beast. Long live your majesty. Go on, long live. All the soldiers cried with joy. This is a battle with no chance of winning. The Dali dynasty completely crushed them with millions of troops. But since Wang Dao arrived, the situation was abruptly reversed. No one can understand that they are still alive standing here. What have they experienced in it? Finally, the remaining soldiers of the Dagon dynasty took off the flag of the Dali dynasty. Put on the banner of the Dagon dynasty. Thereafter, Luo Qingshan removed the heavy armor and looked at Wang Dao gratefully. She originally thought that there was no chance of victory in the battle between hundreds of thousands of troops and the millions of troops. Even at the cost of some souls, urging the secret method. But Wang Dao's sudden appearance directly rewritten the battle. Immediately, she looked at Wang Dao and smiled brightly. Why are you here suddenly? At this time, Wang Dao recalled Hai Wuchang to the Yin Si Sao's mansion, and he also retreated his hostility. At this time, he smiled so much. When facing Luo Qingshan, he still had a humble expression. We are all so familiar, there is no need to be in front of me, and still put on the official air of your majesty. I'm not here to come here to rescue you for fear of accidents. Immediately, Wang Dao talked about his previous experience. After hearing Wang Dao's summary, Luo Qingshan also said with joy. Unexpectedly, this time you two will have gained a lot. After that, Luo Qingshan looked at Liukai Shenfeng with a complicated expression in his eyes. Now it seems that Liukai Shenfeng also has a lot of background. Originally, after Wang Dao told Luo Qingshan about the trial realm, he only hoped that the body of the six-colored divine phoenix would not appear abnormal after the blood was purified. After all, the beast master and the spirit beast share their body and talents. Originally, he wanted Luo Qingshan to confirm that there were no hidden diseases in the six-colored god phoenix after the bloodline had been purified. But he did not expect that Luo Qingshan would say such a thing. The same as reincarnation. After Luo Qingshan was reincarnated, she devoted herself to creating a great skilled society to satisfy her regrets in her previous life. As for Liu Kai Shenfeng's life experience, Wang Dao only learned about it not long ago. Luo Qingshan's expression is full of complex colors, this force must be right. Six-color Shenfeng, the spirit beast that used to be the lord of the underworld commander of the Yin Si Sao mansion. A flame, purifying everything in the world, it's just that you haven't awakened before, it is the appearance of the saint rank bloodline. Although Wang Dao could guess 6 or 7 points, after learning its identity, Wang Dao couldn't believe it. The owner of Liu Kai Shenfeng turned out to be the spirit beast beside the lord of the underground palace. No wonder, when using the bone-breaking sage, Liu Kai Shenfeng didn't believe that he could use this technique at all. It seems that only the bloodline of the lord of the underworld is qualified to cultivate this bone-eroded Saint Yin. Seeing that Luo Qingshan's thoughts were still in full, Wang Dao also leaned over, and asked slyly, "What's the matter? The owner of this local chicken is so strong and supported by its blood, isn't it a good thing? Is it possible that you married his master in the previous life? In this life you will be reincarnated, or will you not escape this fate?" Luo Qingshan glared at Wang Dao, then sighed again. She really couldn't imagine that this harmless little dog could say this. But Dagon was able to win the Great Li dynasty this time, and Wang Dao, he was absolutely indispensable. This Wang Dao is good in everything, just this temperament. It's too cheap. After a while, Luo Qingshan said, "I did know its owner in the previous life, but I don't have any karmic destiny with it, and I only learned about it later. In that celestial realm, I am the same as Yin Sao's supreme. Before, the well water did not invade the river, but the last mountain could not tolerate 2 tigers. We all wanted to wipe out each other and completely take down the entire celestial realm. There is no high and low. After that, we will make an agreement, after becoming a celestial being ascended, and then in the heavens, in the eyes of the gods, we will be higher and lower. And Liu Kai Shenfang, to be precise, the Ju Kai Shenfang is the spirit beast he raised in captivity, but before I knew him, it became my contract beast. After Wang Dao heard this, he was still a little surprised. The six-color god Fengye didn't have the aura of the prince of the underworld, and he was bullied by others. Subconsciously, Wang Dao looked at Liu Kai Shenfang. At this time, Liu Kai Shenfang was holding the stone pillar on the side, facing the sky, sleeping there. Even at the corner of its mouth, there was a gleam of crystal-clear saliva gleaming. How do you feel a little like yourself? Wang Dao. At this time, Wang Dao finally understood why Luo Qingshan would show such a complicated expression after knowing the identity of Liu Kai Shenfang. In the previous life, they fought and became enemies, but now, the spirit beasts under Yin Sao Supreme have become like this, and they have also become her contract beasts. This makes people very speechless. However, Wang Dao still moved to the side of Liu Kai Shenfang. Upon seeing this, Luo Qingshan smiled bitterly. Why are you so worried? Although he is the spirit beast of the Lord of Yin Sao, the current six-colored phoenix is my spirit beast. I can't feel the hostility of Yin Sao's supreme spirit beast. She is irresistible, so don't talk about it now. As a beastmaster, I summon the six-colored god phoenix, which means that I am the master she always trusts and relies on forever. Hearing what Luo Qingshan said, Wang Dao let out a sigh of relief. After that, Luo Qingshan also sighed with emotion. Unexpectedly, I was my old enemy in my previous life, but my ally in this life. Fate is really unpredictable. However, when I thought that Wang Dao was taking the dignified underworld spirit beast to swim outside the mountains and rivers, this ethos was completely destroyed by Wang Dao. Thinking of this, Luo Qingshan couldn't help but want to laugh. All this is the credit of Wang Dao. If it hadn't been for Wang Dao to take Liu Kai Shenfang out to tour the mountains and water, she would not know the true identity of Liu Kai Shenfang. This memory of the previous life was completely wiped out because of Wang Dao. Luo Qingshan couldn't help but glanced at Wang Dao more. The smile at the corner of his mouth could no longer be stretched. Why are you smiling at me inexplicably? Your smile is so permeating, don't you know it? Wang Dao couldn't help thinking, maybe he was also a reincarnated spirit beast. She must have been Luo Qingshan's enemy in her previous life. Otherwise, why would a woman suddenly smile at herself? Well, you Wang Dao, this emperor is very happy. Isn't it enough to laugh? Luo Qingshan couldn't help it anymore and laughed heartily. The hundreds of civil and military officials beside him saw that the female emperor was so happy, and there were bursts of smiles on their faces. Wang Dao felt that all of this was too weird, so he turned over and tried to run away. However, Luo Qingshan stopped by Wang Dao and lifted the back of Wang Dao's neck with one hand. Wang Dao, come on you. After lifting Wang Dao up, Luo Qingshan hugged him straight in his arms, stunned. Feeling the softness in the Empress's arms, Wang Dao's eyes were blurred. But I have to say that Luo Qingshan's technique is very good. After being beaten by her like this, Wang Dao felt that the soreness in his whole body was gone, and at this moment he didn't even have the strength to struggle. This technique is awesome. That's too special in place. Not long after, Luo Qingshan changed his technique, turned Wang Dao's belly, and slammed again. Woohoo! Wang Dao stretched out on the ground like a dead dog, closed his eyes and began to enjoy. Upon seeing this, Luo Qingshan smiled more intensely, and all the haze of the great fight was wiped out at this moment. At this time, some younger soldiers brought their contract beasts to see this scene, and asked curiously, Your Majesty, what are you doing with Master Wang Dao? The child's words made the two separate instantly as if they were electrocuted. The old general on the side gave a dry cough, pretending to be angrily. For adults, don't worry about children. Tong Yan Wuji. Being so entangled by the child, Luo Qingshan put Wang Dao down and immediately looked at the sleeping Liu Kai Shenfang. At this time, she began to think about the fact that Liu Kai Shenfang had the bloodline of the spirit beast of the king of the underworld. This time she understood the technique and it must be useful to herself. For Luo Qingshan, she can trust Wang Dao and Liu Kai Shenfang. This is a good thing. Thinking of this, Luo Qingshan woke up the sleeping Liu Kai Shenfang, and ordered Wang Dao. Wang Dao, come out with me. The prestige of the female emperor, if others had long surrendered. Wang Dao slumped on the ground, opened one eye and asked reluctantly. Your Majesty, what's the matter with you? You won't deceive me out of your intentions, will you? I can tell you, Wang Dao sits upright and I am not greedy for beauty. Luo Qingshan twitched the corners of her mouth, full of black lines. Wang Dao looked completely mean and humble. She didn't talk nonsense with Wang Dao, and directly picked up Wang Dao and walked out of the camp to leave the dynasty. In a clearing outside the dynasty, Luo Qingshan saw that there was no one around, and then put Wang Dao down. Wang Dao hurriedly broke free and wanted to run away, but at this time Luo Qingshan grabbed Wang Dao's dog's tail again. Wang Dao, I have something to discuss with you. Seeing Luo Qingshan's solemn expression, Wang Dao stopped struggling. What's wrong? You mother-in-law has so many things all day long. Luo Qingshan also stopped playing with Wang Dao, saying, Wang Dao, now we all know that Liu Kai Shenfeng is a spirit beast next to the Lord of the Underground Palace, and his technique, Bone-Eating Saint Hidden, has also been comprehended by you. In the realm of trial, inheritance runes can reverse yin and yang and create another world. If I am right, if these two spells are superimposed, you should be able to create the kingdom of the underworld. Speaking of this, Luo Qingshan's breathing became a little heavy. After all, she has experience as a female emperor, and she has seen a lot, so she thought of this possibility for the first time. Let alone how huge the Dagon dynasty Sheji was, just taking the Dali dynasty in one fell swoop, the territory of the army expanded. If Wang Dao is really capable of creating a country of underworld, under the mutual support of these two forces, his own dominance may rise to an unimaginable level. Seeing Luo Qingshan's passionate and excited expression, Wang Dao just yawned. Not to mention the creation of the kingdom of the underworld, just using this bone-eroded holy hidden, improper operation will be backlashed by the heart demon, and the soul will never be restored. He created a country, a matter of hundreds of years later. I remember that there was a mental illness not called post-war traumatic sequelae. This girl is not going to fight and go crazy, right? Come, royal doctor, the head of the Empress is showy. Your Majesty, I am just a salted fish who eats and waits to die. You must do it yourself. Luo Qingshan had expected Wang Dao to answer this way. After all, Wang Dao is a real salted fish. For Wang Dao, Dagon Sheji is not as good as a chicken leg. But thinking of this benefit, Luo Qingshan still hopes that Wang Dao will not be so salty. But no matter what conditions he offered, Wang Dao refused to agree. In the end, he had no choice but to lie on the ground with his feet upright and began to pretend to be dead. Luo Qingshan exhausted 18 martial arts, but Wang Dao just couldn't get in. Pretending to be a dead dog, silently. He is really afraid of trouble. At this moment, Luo Qingshan's pleading ceased abruptly, and Luo Qingshan's sobbing sound came from it. Woo! I saw Luo Qingshan hugging Wang Dao, and weeping in Wang Dao's ear. Wang Dao suddenly widened his eyes and looked at Luo Qingshan. Really crying. Wang Dao is stupid. Thinking of Luo Qingshan's resolute and violent erasure of the sect, Wang Dao didn't believe it. This girl can cry. Wang Dao gently patted Luo Qingshan's cheek with his dog's paw, and comforted him. Don't cry, okay, you are a dynastic female emperor, if you have something to do, just say no. Ooh, Luo Qingshan Lihua cried with rain, her pitiful appearance made Wang Dao feel soft. It's fine if others don't help me, but even you have to reject me. I'm the only one beside me, really only you. Wang Dao, I didn't expect you to be so cruel. I thought you were a contract beast worth entrusting me, but now because of this kind of thing, I want to refuse me. Forget it, I won't force you. I have been with Luo Qingshan for a while. It was the first time that he saw Luo Qingshan so sad. In the end, Wang Dao was softened. Wang Dao took a deep breath, and said helplessly, hey. It's not that I don't want to help you. I also know that you want to build a Dagon Sheji, but I am a lazy dog. I don't know the secret method. What you said is unheard of. Leave aside other things for the time being, just using the bone-breaking sacred yin may suffer the backlash of the heart demon. At that time, my Wang Dao is likely to become a stupid dog. Woo! Luo Qingshan's cries were getting louder and louder. It looked pitiful, but it gave Wang Dao a weird feeling. At this moment, Liu Kai Shenfeng was also shoving on the side. Brother go, my good brother. The owner is so sad that he is crying, try your best. There was no way. Wang Dao finally nodded and agreed. I can say ugly things first, I can help as much as I can in this matter, but if my life is threatened, I can't forgive it. Wang Dao looked serious, this is his principle. Wu, that is, you promised me. Luo Qingshan asked with a choked voice and clear eyes. Yes, I promised you. Wang Dao didn't know what to do. At this time, Luo Qingshan, who had been crying and confused, wiped her tears suddenly, revealing a bright smile. She patted Wang Dao's furry head, and said, Wang Dao, this is what you said, don't regret it. After speaking, the female emperor Luo Qingshan straightened out the wrinkled corners of her clothes and left. With a clear smile on his face. Afterwards, Wang Dao was left confused and messy in the wind. A few days later, the Dali dynasty was successfully included in the territory of the Dagon dynasty. In this battle, the Dagon dynasty also increased its strength by tens of thousands. Most of the soldiers were brought in by Wang Dao on the way to increase staff. A small number of people were deserters from the Great Li dynasty. Logically speaking, Luo Qingshan would put these deserters to death, but the leading troops were not strong enough. These people could only practice hard day and night in the barracks like the death squad arranged before, looking forward to an official identity. Up and down the Dagon dynasty, after adjusting the state and ascending to the throne, hundreds of civil and military officials began to write books one after another. They felt that at this time, they should take advantage of the victory and chase, and take the remaining dynasties in one fell swoop. However, Luo Qingshan shook his head after hearing the opinions of hundreds of officials. Indicate that the time for this matter has not arrived, and we need to wait. The civil and military officials expressed their incomprehension. Among these dynasties, it was the Dark Temple that supported them. This victory and pursuit will wipe out several dynasties in one fell swoop, which is bound to severely damage the Dark Dynasty. Many generals even stood up and raised their opposition. In their eyes, this is a fighter. Right now, it is a good time to defeat all dynasties in one fell swoop. The backbone of the Dali dynasty has been shattered. The Dark Temple even withdrew from the Dali dynasty. Dali has been defeated. This is an unchanging fact. Throughout the court and the opposition, no one knew the great power of the country, and the female emperor Luo Qingshan made all the dynasties tremble with a thunder blow. It was the time to pursue it, but at this time, Luo Qingshan. And Luo Qingshan also saw the confusion of the ministers, he explained. The neighboring dynasties are already at the end of the battle. If you want to destroy these dynasties, you will have to pay for the troops, and the divisions will be unknown. But if the forces of these dynasties are brought together, then my dynasty will have millions of soldiers. Isn't it beautiful? We are fighting against the Dali dynasty, and neighboring countries are all involved. At this time, our crusade is also reasonable. But the huge ruling and opposition parties only eliminate these neighboring countries, and it is impossible to realize the unification of the ruling and opposition parties. After hearing this, the civil and military officials facing down all showed shocked expressions. They all raised their heads to look at Luo Qingshan, who was sitting high on the dragon chair. Her Majesty, how ambitious. The civil and military officials believed that after breaking the Dali dynasty, the neighboring dynasties would be destroyed by taking advantage of the trend, so that the great cadre's national strength would be unprecedentedly improved. After hearing Luo Qingshan's thoughts, the civil and military officials felt that their thoughts were so naive. They still underestimated the majesty of Her Majesty. Just annexing several neighboring dynasties, this can't satisfy Luo Qingshan's appetite at all. Only to annex the entire dynasty of the Holy Spirit realm is Luo Qingshan's ultimate goal. The hundreds of civil and military officials facing down did not dare to continue thinking about it. After all, the dynasty that unified the entire Holy Spirit realm could not be created by their imagination alone. 3 days later, everyone in the death squad reported the situation of the Great Leaving dynasty one by one. Several neighboring countries have already repatriated their troops. In the battle to break the Great Li dynasty, Dagon appeared to be too tough. Hundreds of thousands of soldiers from the Great Li could not resist Dagon's offensive. The rest of the dynasty had less than 100,000 troops. If they fight again, the dynasty will be defeated. Later, Luo Qingshan ordered, "The last city is far away, take it today." This is the last city after the destruction of the Dali dynasty. Although there are still tens of thousands of Imperial Beast divisions in the city, this amount of force is nothing at all for the dynasty of the dynasty that has replenished its energy. It took only one morning to break through this last city, and Dagon's national flag was planted on the city. No one would stand up as an enemy and clamor with the Dagon dynasty. At this point, the Dali dynasty was declared shattered. The territory of the Dagon dynasty has more than doubled. After annexing Dali territory, Luo Qingshan did not give up, but directly sent people to the first sect of Dali dynasty, Tianjizong. However, what made Luo Qingshan unexpected was that when the elite troops formed by the royal beast master went to the Tianjizong, there was no magic circle protection in front of the Tianjizong. It stands to reason that the well water of the dynasty sect does not violate the river water. But when the dynasty was shattered, these sects had only two choices. Choose a new dynasty and serve the new dynasty. Their identities are no longer sects, but more like slaves. Another option, the sect swears to protect the territory to the death and forms a group of its own, occupying the dynasty territory. But in history, there has never been a sect that can resist the attacks of other dynasties after the dynasty is destroyed. The reason is simple, the number of sects is not as strong as the strength of a dynasty. This alone killed the stubborn resistance of Zongmin in the cradle. Therefore, it is all surrender, but the new ruler will not be too much. When Wang Dao and Luo Qingshan arrived, there were countless elites waiting beside the Tianji sect. Without the blessing of the magic circle, this alone is suspicious. Wang Dao, don't rush in. Seeing Wang Dao throw away his dog's legs, he ran inside. Luo Qingshan motioned to the soldiers to wait there, but he quickly chased after him. Entering the clan, there is still no institution magic circle. When Luo Qingshan arrived, Wang Dao was standing in front of a cave. Looking up, there is no aura around the cave. Luo Qingshan knew very well that each sect had a fairyland that was unique to them. It seems that this cave is the cultivation fairyland of Tianjizong. Walking into the cave, Wang Dao stopped, he smelled a little breath, and suddenly he raised his head and cursed. Old immortal thing, how about playing peekaboo with your brother? Come out soon. Luo Qingshan squinted her eyes, her face was full of chills, and when she was about to ask, an old voice came from the depths of the cave. It's not easy, I didn't expect to be able to perceive the existence of the old man. Emperor Dagon, do you still have your spirit beast? It really deserves its reputation. In the depths of the cave, an old man was thin and haggard, with some deep wrinkles on his neck, but his face was red, and his eyes flashed with wisdom. Luo Qingshan didn't dare to underestimate the enemy, she could perceive the moment the old man appeared. The aura on this old man is very majestic. What a huge aura. The opponent turned out to be a strong player in the early stage of Tier 4. Suddenly, Luo Qingshan's eyes condensed, and a red light burst out from his hands. The moment the spiritual current turned, a violent wind whizzed past, and the FA phase condensed. She looked around vigilantly, but her heart sank. This combat power exceeded her expectations. Although she has broken through the early stage of Tier 3, facing a strong player in the early stage of Tier 4, it can be said that as long as the opponent moves the killing intent, she has no chance of winning. Can only run away in embarrassment. Therefore, Luo Qingshan can be described as extremely cautious. The aura on the old man's body was like a trickle of water, and the majestic aura continuously poured into his body. When Luo Qingshan was about to do it, Chao Luo Qingshan came over with a smile on his face. When Luo Qingshan was only 10 steps away, the old man suddenly bowed down respectfully and reverently opened a roster before Luo Qingshan's eyes. There are 360 disciples of the Tianji sect, all of them are registered in the roster. In addition, the heavenly materials, mantras, and rare spirit beasts obtained by the celestial sect are all recorded in the book. Please also look at Your Majesty the Empress. Luo Qingshan, who was tense all over, was taken aback when she saw the old man being so respectful. Somewhat dumbfounded, surrender. Wang Dao on the side was not surprised. He also warned Luo Qingshan, this old man wants to touch porcelain. I see him a lot. Be careful. It's so strong, but suddenly kneeling down and recording everything in advance. It's not fraudulent, it's just this old-headed brain teasing. Even Luo Qingshan hesitated. It is unscientific to record the names of all the disciples of the sect, and even those rare treasures. The old man also expected that Luo Qingshan would hesitate, so he laughed and said. The old man had long expected that the Dali dynasty would be defeated under the prestige of the great power, and deliberately recorded the important affairs of the sect in advance. I have long heard of the great female emperor Dagon. Under the prestigious reputation, there is really no good at all. Luo Qingshan, who had never changed her face, showed hesitation after hearing the words of the old man. Before stepping into the promised sect, Luo Qingshan thought of countless possibilities, but Luo Qingshan did not expect that this powerful old man in front of him would return to the Dagon dynasty so decisively. He recorded all the Junbao strange beasts in the promised sect, and also said that the destruction of the great Li dynasty was also within their expectations. Although Luo Qingshan still had some doubts, when he thought of the strength of the old man, even if he wanted to destroy himself, he didn't need to make such a big fight. However, Luo Qingshan did not fully believe the other party, and Wang Dao on the side also took the roster over. After Luo Qingshan reviewed the roster, Luo Qingshan believed it. It seems that all the sects in the Dali dynasty are willing to return to Dagon. But this matter made her a little unbelievable. The old man Wuji, who is good at divination, the female emperor, is not simple, so surrender. He said with deep meaning, but I don't know the specifics, and I hope the female emperor treats me Wujizong kindly. Luo Qingshan showed a clear look, and Wang Dao also relaxed a little. Before coming, Luo Qingshan thought that if the sect returned, he would definitely see the blood. But all this is too easy. Without wasting a soldier, all the sects were willing to surrender. In this way, several sects returned to Dagon successively, and within a few days, all sects of Dali were brought under the Dagon dynasty. After capturing the territory of Dali, so many sect forces were collected and paid, which caused the national power of Dagon to skyrocket for a while. Several dynasties in neighboring countries, seeing the great strength of their leaders, made the national army even more willing to surrender. This time, they no longer dared to act rashly. Dagon completely convinced all neighboring dynasties with thunderous skills. The foundation of the country is the people. Only by grasping the hearts of the people can the dynasty be recognized. Luo Qingshan also issued many orders. After Wang Dao learned of the sect of receiving and paying, he wandered around in the Dali dynasty again. This is a new place, maybe the sign-in system will be unlocked again, and then you can lie flat and practice again. Soon, the cold voice of the system came from Wang Dao's spiritual consciousness again. Ding! Please go to the Quihong Tower to sign in. This time you will be rewarded for signing in, Jingwu Dan. When Wang Dao heard this, he immediately lost his interest. He thought that if he changed a place, the system rewards would be more abundant. How can this low-level pill be worthy of your dog brother? Subsequently, Wang Dao wandered around in the dynasty alone. After not taking a few steps, Wang Dao found a shady place and used formulas to cover the golden bell on his body. Isn't it good to be a salted fish if you lie flat and practice? But what made Wang Dao wonder is that the fortune of the Dagon dynasty is now flourishing. The Dali dynasty received and paid, and the Dali Zongmen was brought under its command. It stands to reason that the system rewards will increase with the national fortune, but this first sign-in, the pill obtained is so low level, it shouldn't be. Is it possible that the national fortune of the great cadres has not increased by much? In the recent months of conquest, Daqian has indeed expanded his territory and increased national power. But this has no effect on improving the national fortune. The foundation of the national fortune is the people. For his own future, Wang Dao turned over and took back the golden bell, using the majesty of the Zhengguo spirit beast, and successively promulgated a series of decrees within the dynasty. Although Luo Qingshan said this dynasty, he was also the spirit beast of Daganjun. There are more or less rights. First of all, he asked the Beast Tower to be opened for all the people who were suitable for the common people, and the Beast masters who obtained the spirit beasts could also choose the mantras of the spells by themselves. However, the mantras of these spells that Wang Dao chose were relatively low level. As for the forbidden spells, they were naturally blocked in the depths of Dagon. Later, Wang Dao borrowed the ancient imperial examination system to select civilians who had no qualifications to obtain spirit beasts. The civil and military officials, all the people, are qualified to do the job. What the great leaders need are useful people, and those who can enter the depths of the great leaders absolutely need both civil and martial arts. During the assessment, Wang Dao also made some changes. The more he wanted to be a dynasty official, the more he needed both civil and military training. Since the decree was issued, many poor people have been grateful for the Zhengguo spirit beast. This move by Wang Dao quickly spread to Luo Qingshan's ears. After learning of this, Luo Qingshan was also very surprised. Although the army has expanded, there are many war-torn civilians and descendants of the Dali dynasty. But after Wang Dao bought people's hearts, there were no hundreds of people, and they began to recognize the Dagon dynasty. As the people want, this is the only way for the growth of the nation's fortune. This Wang Dao, eating and drinking in the dynasty on weekdays, did not have a positive shape. But when the dynasty expanded, such a good method was proposed. What a surprise! This silly dog still has something. Just too lazy. After she herself ascended the throne, she also gave the poor people a chance to enter the dynasty and serve the country. But the conditions she put forward were too harsh, and you must be a beast master to be eligible to enter the assessment. But now, Wang Dao gave some people without spirit beasts a chance to enter the dynasty and become civil officials. Some unimportant positions, but just such a small change made the people love it. Unexpectedly, this dead dog is still very enlightened. Luo Qingshan later realized that in her opinion, although Wang Dao usually wandered around in the dynasty, he was always observing the changes in the dynasty. Solve her worries. This stupid dog cares about himself, but he is angry at himself. After that, she took Liu Kai Shenfeng all the way to the west, to understand the customs of the local people, and truly integrate into the people's sentiments. As the king of a dynasty, this emperor is indeed inferior to it. It was at this time that Luo Qingshan would choose to communicate with Wang Dao after encountering many political problems. Although this servant still seems to be ignorant of answers, often Wang Dao can inspire Luo Qingshan with a little thought. However, Luo Qingshan had no idea about Wang Dao's change. As far as it is concerned, Luo Qingshan, this girl, has nothing to do on weekdays, and talks to herself about the political issues, and he has to persuade her. Let it soar. However, persistence will always pay off. In just 1 month, Wang Dao realized that the national fortune of the great leaders had increased. At this moment, Wang Dao finally understood that a dynasty was originally divided into levels. Dynasty, dynasty, imperial dynasty, god dynasty and that supreme dynasty. There are 5 levels. This time, the national fortunes increased, and the Dagon dynasty became the Dagon dynasty. As the national fortune improves, Wang Dao will also receive corresponding rewards. With the blessing of the Golden Bell, coupled with the advancement of Daqian into the dynasty, Wang Dao will enjoy extremely strong blessings in the Daqian. This kind of luck can be described as metaphysics. In the dynasty, whether Wang Dao signed in or practiced, his luck was so good that it exploded. It's just a simple sleep, and the cultivation base increases inexplicably when you wake up. If you gnaw on a cow bone, you can find peerless marrow fluid in the bone marrow. Wang Dao is very satisfied with this result. Now I can not only lie down and practice to make a salted fish, but also possess the European emperor and bless the koi. After confirming that the fortune of the Dagon dynasty had been promoted, after spending more than half a month in the dynasty, Wang Dao couldn't stand it anymore. At this time, is it not beautiful to go outside to enjoy the mountains and water and taste the delicious food? Ever since, Wang Dao thought about going outside again. This time, without waiting for Wang Dao to speak, Liu Kai Shenfeng obediently followed Wang Dao. Leaving Dagon dynasty overnight. After stepping out of the gate of the dynasty, Wang Dao let out a long relief. Wang Dao has long been annoyed to discuss affairs with Luo Qingshan all day long. Now, taking advantage of Luo Qingshan's busy planning of the dynasty's forces, he hurriedly slipped away. After leaving the Dagon dynasty, the 2 beasts did not go far before they were recognized by the accompanying people. Seeing Wang Dao, the people knelt down and shouted respectfully, "Meet the Lord Zhengguo spirit beast. Thank you Wang Dao for everything you have done to our great people. You are our benefactor, and you are our reborn parent." These people are basically civilians living near the Dagon dynasty. Since Wang Dao promulgated the imperial examination decree, hundreds of people have the opportunity to enter the dynasty and become the master of the beasts, the high-level dynasty. Wang Dao immediately became the beast of the town beloved by the people. Along the way, Hundreds of surnames saw Wang Dao and worshipped Wang Dao. Although Wang Dao had imagined such a scene countless times, after experiencing it firsthand, Wang Dao was still a little moved. The Liu Kai Shenfeng on the side was also a little jealous after seeing this. Wang Dao, what kind of ecstasy did you use? How come these people see you so respectfully? It's the parents who need food and clothing, so a fool will recognize it. If it were me, I would definitely squat down to tease you when I saw your little dog. What's wrong with my Liu Kai Shenfeng? Wang Dao turned his head, looked at Liu Kai Shenfeng, raised his head proudly, and laughed. This local chicken seems to be jealous of the people's love for them. Too lazy to care about you, dry rice and rice. Afterwards, the two beasts came to a restaurant. As soon as Wang Dao and Liu Kai Shenfeng entered the door, the restaurant owner followed him around. Zhengguo Spirit Beast and Master Shenfeng, please. Your arrival really makes the shop flourish. Today you two will eat freely, and all the dishes will be provided for the two for free. This leap is loved by many people. Some people invite themselves to dinner, so why not do it? Wang Dao didn't choose to go to the box, but chose a central location and sat down with Liu Kai Shenfeng. Sitting down, the guests on the side recognized Wang Dao. Several guests even discussed, "Thank you, Mr. Wang Dao, for letting us homeless people have a place to go. I thought that after the Dali dynasty was shattered, we people of Dali would suffer the most disaster, but Master Wang Dao and Her Majesty the Empress pardoned us innocent people and included them under the Dagon dynasty. I really appreciate such a benevolent dynasty. What? Dali bullied the people and did a lot of evil, and he should have been shattered by Dagon long ago. The Dagon dynasty will definitely become the first dynasty commanding the entire court and the opposition in the hands of Her Majesty and Master Wang Dao." All the diners praised Wang Dao. When Liu Kai Shenfeng on the side heard it, the corners of his mouth twitched, and he was a little puzzled. Now it doesn't even have the heart to be jealous of Wang Dao, and even the people of Dali agree with this dead dog. As for Wang Dao, there was a dark refreshment in his heart. I didn't expect to help myself and did these good things by the way. It's not bad, but since it is the object of worship of everyone, I have to behave a little plainly. Ahem, deep concealment of merit and fame, low-key, this is my motto. After a while, the dishes are all on top. Looking at the dazzling array of delicacies, Wang Dao feasted on Liu Kai Shenfeng. At the same time, outside the gate of Dagon, a group of monks in monk clothes were knocking on the wooden fish, holding rosary beads, and wanted to enter the city gate. But at this moment, the soldiers guarding the city gate stopped the group of monks. "Stop. In accordance with Her Majesty's orders, we will interrogate you." Several soldiers immediately stopped, holding long spears, and looking majestic. Upon seeing this, the headed monk said indifferently, "Amitabha, the poor monk came from the east, because I saw the divine light of ancient temples here, I came here to check it out." Seeing the monks' peaceful faces, the soldiers also restrained their temper and explained. "State-owned and national regulations. According to the rules, we should check anyone who enters the city gate. This is also for the safety of Your Majesty. Please cooperate with the monks." Upon hearing this, the headed monk shook his head, sighed, and said in a very strong tone, "All sentient beings, you and I are all ants, and only the Buddha and the Tao are the existence above us. In order to pursue the divine light of the ancient temple, we must enter here. And what you bring is not so convenient. But after confirmation, we will leave as soon as possible, and hope to tell Your Majesty in the future." After all, a group of monks walked straight ahead regardless of the soldiers' interception. Seeing this group of monks refused to cooperate, the respectful look on the faces of the leading soldiers disappeared instantly. The soldiers held long spears, followed by mortal contract beasts, and said furiously, "Bold, someone dared to despise Wang Fa and take them for me." Just as the soldiers were about to come forward, suddenly, the headed monk slammed the stick on the ground. The invisible fluctuations dispersed instantly. I saw that the group of soldiers had no resistance, they were shaken away, and fell to the ground and vomited blood. A hole was smashed into the ground, and some innocent people were injured by the gravel. The leading monk shook his head, as if he hadn't seen it, and walked straight into the city. When the soldiers struggled to get up, the group of monks were long gone. Some Buddhists trespassed the gate of the city, and some officers immediately reported. All of a sudden, the dynasty was in chaos. The group of monks seemed to have premeditated, and after walking straight to a restaurant, they stopped abruptly. The monk-headed looked at this restaurant and said, "That's it. This restaurant is the restaurant where Wang Dao and Lu Kai Shenfang who eat and drink." At this time, a group of monks walked straight towards the restaurant. "Let's go chicken, come. Have a drink with me." Wang Dao raised his glass boldly, and drank it himself. Liu Kai Shenfang's eyes were a little blurred, and her feet were a little soft. But at this moment, there was a loud noise in their ears. I saw the restaurant owner was stopping in front of a group of monks, and they could persuade them. The monks, I don't know what happened to the shop. The monk with the stick in his hand glanced at the tavernkeeper and sniffed coldly. "The important matter of Buddhism has nothing to do with you. Please leave this place quickly for irrelevant people." When the restaurant owner heard this, his face suddenly changed. "Somehow I do some small business, and I also stand by myself. Although I have come from Dali, here, it can be regarded as a small power." But this group of eminent monks yelled to leave in their own territory. In broad daylight, these bald donkeys are too arrogant. Joke. Although I don't know what's going on with the high monks, I hope you will give you a lot of face. I will open a box for you. After finishing speaking, the restaurant owner greeted Xiao'er, and wanted to invite the eminent monk into the box. At this moment, the head monk once again waved the stick in his hand. Boom! There was a dull sound from deep underground, and the tavern seemed to be ravaged by a demon wind. Except for the monks, the others were all shaken off. Inside the restaurant, a mess. "Guo Zhao," he said silently. "I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more."